Yes, go live.
Our cup runneth over with
Our cup do runneth over. I had a lot of fun this morning. My cup do runneth over with good times and good cheer.
Like a digital fail. Brother, the Indians have got to get their stuff together on Maine of YouTube. It's
telling me it starts at 2 p.m.
No.
You know, digital foil, that may have been on my end, because when I set everything up through StreamYard, it'll be like, when do you want to set up a stream time? And it's like scheduled for later. And then it picks like an hour from the current time that you scheduled the show. So that may not be YouTube's fault. That may have been mine. And I just hadn't set the time correctly. But we're live at our usual and regularly scheduled programming hour. And I hope that everyone's doing well. We were, no, I'm blaming the Indians. It's clear. Well, there you go. There you go.
What a profile picture, too.
That's what a great profile picture. He looks like an executioner.
It reminds me of Machine from...
It reminds me of Woman Definer's profile picture on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, the Chud. Yeah, the Chud.
The Chud with like the most racist man alive t-shirt. You can order that now, apparently. You can buy the most racist man alive t-shirt, which I thought was particularly interesting.
Oh, man. Oh, but the Big Les Show. I think I've heard of Big Les Show. Yeah, I've heard
the Big Les Show. Go on. I've heard of the Big Les Show. It's on that list of things that I am told that I should watch that I've never made time for.
Yeah.
The Big Les Show. 4 seasons. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, it was Australian. I knew this was an Australian show. I knew.
Oh, I used to watch tons of Australian shows.
I have not watched a lot of Australian content.
Me and my parents used to watch Australian daytime television dramas, and a particular influencer in Australia, I'm not going to name, he told me, he's like, you know, Gio, I should do the fucking voice. No. Gio, why are you watching this show? Because like my grandma used to watch that when I'm like, you know, Grandma, make me tendies. And she's like, no, I'm watching Blue Healers. And I'm like, yeah, we used to like, me and my folks, this was during COVID, right? Like this was like,
sure,
you know, we binged everything.
When you can get away with, you know, doing whatever you can, no judgment.
Yeah, like that's, so we watched All Saints every season, Blue Healers every season. I think I watched half of Sea Patrol and half of another Australian drama. Because, like, I don't know, my parents loved the BritBox stuff, and it would always have Australian shows as well.
So I had learned this through overhearing conversations, because these are the things that happened during you know, the clown vid years, is that if you were lucky enough to have a work from home job like myself, or you just lived in one of those states where they basically just decided to do, you know, wealth transfer from like the working middle classes and redistribute it amongst, you know, the parasites of the world, where your rent got frozen and you could get away with whatever. And
nobody paid rent during, certain people never.
Well, certain people didn't pay rent. I certainly was still paying the bills on all sorts of things during that time, but like no, like if you lived in California and parts of New York, like their rent freezes happened for a considerable length of time, and the untold amount of damage that was done was considerable. But I mean, so I had learned that one of the most popular things that was big for soap operas, this was amongst millennial women and Gen X women, was Turkish soap operas. And because apparently Turkish soap operas are shot almost in the exact same way as Days of Our Lives or any major Mexican telenovela. Which, I mean, Meds, like the whole ones too, like the whole Meds are just like, you know, Mediterranean Mexicans. Like the allegations are not getting beat. It's really tragic when it's just like, why is this thing filmed outside of like Ankara, shot with the exact same drama and inflection and musical riffs that I would see on, you know, Days of Our Lives, things that you would see when you're flipping through like the channels in like a hospital waiting room or whatever. It's just like, what is going on? So, I mean, there's a little bit of Mexican cultural hegemony, I guess, over in Turkey. I couldn't say why, but I mean, that seems to be the case.
I always wanted to visit Turkey. I always wanted to see the Grand Bazaar ever since I was a kid, and I saw the one music video for the Tea Party called The Bazaar. and to see the Hagia Sophia. And I don't know. I always wanted to visit there and like Marrakesh if I ever were to go anywhere. But yeah,
My
man.
entire opinion of Marrakesh has been totally ruined by Jimmy Stewart and The Man Who Knew Too Much. Like, that's my only opinion and cultural exposure to Marrakesh. Like, I have no other opinion. I'm like, oh yeah, it's that Alfred Hitchcock movie. It's the spy thriller, and this is where my wife sings, you know, Que Sera Sera, and for some reason, like, we get famous off of that. Like, there you go. Like, life is good.
There was a great documentary, but like it's super limited to find. The one part was called Paul Bowles in Morocco, and the other one was Paul Bowles in Tunisia. You know, the great English writer who wrote the English. He wrote the English Patient, if I recall. Is that? I mean, don't quote me on that.
I won't.
But he sorry, I'm fucking dangling my cigarette. He had these two documentaries, and they were like really great. Basically, just oh no, sorry, it wasn't Paul Bowles. He wrote something else. But you know, he was going around and like talking about his life and his experiences, and I mean, he probably did some nefarious things over there, like all writers of that generation. And I remember like before, I don't know, he like went schizo and he blocked me, but this was the one like ancient head, Tom X Hart, used to post excerpts of these documentaries, which are incredibly hard to find. Like, you can't even find them on YouTube. You have to like, back in the day, you had to like buy the DVD from a website. And I think like I remember I found like one version of it, Paul Bowles in Tunisia, but you know, it was a really like very like, even the excerpts he posted are great. So what did Paul Bowles, he wrote
you know, speaking of things that make you feel ancient, like ordering DVDs off of a website. For those who are,
he wrote The Sheltering Sky. He wrote
there you go. Yeah, like if you want to feel old, if you were say someone who enjoyed Team Fortress 2 back in the day, there's someone in 2008, 2009. Yeah, Orange Box came out in 2007. So 2007, 2008, someone used all of the like Scout character class voice lines, and they did the Inspector Gadget theme with it. This video is so old. Bush is still in office. Michael Jackson is still alive. And the place that you were supposed to go to download the song, according to the video description, was the dude's Fur Affinity account. Like, this is how old we're talking here. And I just thought to myself, what a wild thing to go back in time and to sort of examine. Because like YouTube lately is like, hi Matt, are you interested in looking at videos that are like 20 years old on YouTube from 2006?
Oh, they do
like,
that a lot. Yeah,
actually, I am. Like, I was watching, like, there was a video about like a couple that took their drive. Like, they got in their car and they drove to Walmart and they messed around, and it's just like, oh, this is like an alt goth couple that like probably went to Warped Tour in 2009. I'm watching this video from 2007. And it's just, you know, we get radicalized by seeing videos of like 1960s America, 1960s Britain, you know, early 2000s Walmart trips apparently is what's done it for me, where it's like, burn it all down. It's all got to go. It's all got to go. Burn it all down. Like,
get rid of it all.
Get rid of it all. We got to turn the clock back. We got to get on the magic deportation bus. Like, we got to do this now. It's too late. It's too late
to rip asunder this pallid night.
I've been to Marrakesh. It's really hot over there. I'm going to take your word for it. It sounds really hot over there. I wouldn't want to go.
Oh man, look at. I'm not going to explain myself, Osworld.
Also, you know what the best part of that? Actually, no, we're going to do this now. You know what the best part of that entire, you know, comment was this morning? Let me go scroll up and find it. Because I have it saved. Just like Mishima. That was my point. And then right after the exclamation point, it is not exactly, but still, my brother and Adam. My brother and Adam.
That's such a Gio statement.
Yeah, no, yeah. This is exactly what I was saying. Not really. No, not exactly. Brother.
Listen, they both took the honorable way out for political reasons, Digital Phil has said.
I don't think that one of those is almost, not that I'm going to glorify, you know, that kind of, you know, but I am gonna simply say that like one of those is far more honorable than
oh
the
yeah,
other.
no doubt. I'm not. No, I'm
If
not.
anything,
Yeah,
you
I'm not
know,
gonna,
like I
no,
understand
I'm
that you
not.
want to
I'm not
compare the
comparing
lives
him
of
to,
two gay people, but one of those guys is way more interesting and way more historically relevant to politics than the other.
Jason Arde was gay.
I'm assuming so. I have no idea,
I
but
don't
you know he's
know.
a
I mean,
plagiarist, so at this point, who cares?
I mean, I don't know. I just like. Okay. Here's the thing, though.
All that for you to make this comment over a dumb 2-minute bit about Chris Brunette investigating his suicide note for plagiarism. All of this for a joke. All of this for a joke.
I'm not
it sounds
comparing
like he was
him.
committed to the bit, Sean. It's true. Just stick with the bit.
But did he actually plagiarize his note, or is that just a meme?
It's just a joke.
Yeah.
I don't think a note has been released
Maybe, like,
publicly.
well, yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. It's just that, like, okay, okay, I'm not.
We've got to
comparing
put the
him to
serious
Mishima.
hat on.
Put the serious hat for a minute, okay?
I'm actually, you know what I should do? I should buy you a chef's hat with the embroidery that says, is there a specific name for a chef's hat? Do they have a specific
They have a name for it. I know there's a name for it.
What is it called? Oh, it's just a white hat. That's literally what it is. Just put on your white hats.
Real white hat patriots coming to your area.
Real white hat patriots telling you how important it is. So I'm going to get you a white chef's hat, but it's going to be embroidered that says
someone needs to get me
the serious fez. Actually, that's way better.
Just
get the serious fez on.
Yeah. Oh my god. No. Okay, I was gonna say that someone left a comment last stream about, like, you know, he hated white people and all that stuff, but it's like, I don't,
kind of a requirement in academia these days.
No, but to say that, like, our day is uniquely, like, first of all, if he's plagiarizing everything and he's like he was of not a stellar intellect, not to besmirch a man who's dead, but, like, you know, then I don't think, like, his convictions carry a lot of academic weight the way someone like, I don't know, Bell Hooks or whatever, like, other examples you could think of. Like, I don't think, like, it's not that the significance is the fact that he got so far with so little. But in terms of his actual impact,
I mean, isn't that just an indictment of our current sort of, how do I say this politely? You know, just this sort of worshiping, salivating, prostrating attitude that we have towards Black academics.
Well, especially in the UK, that's like a tradition that, you know.
And it's a tradition here
in America, yeah.
Like, what are you talking?
Yeah,
it's not exclusive.
No, in a way, I will say
it's a uniquely Anglosphere experience.
Right. No, in America, it's like ever present, but in the UK, I think it's more. How should I say it? In America, it's ever present to the point of ubiquity, whereas in the UK, it's more jarring because it's a relatively recent development. Because there was my one great mutual, what's his name, Lash's Ghost, or something like that. Lash on Twitter, he had this point about in the UK there is this pervasive Americanization of academic discourse.
Yes,
and so that's why they're like, I can't snap my fingers, but, you know, I can click my mouth. Let's get a guy like Jason Art. Like, let's just shove him in there. Just whoever is there, quality doesn't matter. We have to do this thing. And it's kind of like, even though British culture for a long time is still doing
incredibly
different, right?
You know, I was going to say it has a significant quality to it that was meant to really rest on your academic credentials and the work that you put out.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But when it comes to certain segments of academia and even British culture, there is a pervasive Americanization, and so that's why they felt the need to elevate and now treat as a martyr Jason Arde. And another thing I'll say too is that I said this. I was conversing on the TL with Popehead, and
I noticed that today.
No, yeah, but basically guys like Kaufness and Hanania, they're not treating this subject as like I'm a base chud just like you.
No, they
They
hate you.
yeah. Yeah. They hate you because to them,
Like I watched
yeah.
Kaufness and Dave go at it like a year and a half ago. Like the vitriol that was just of contempt, despite the fact that like Dave has openly said he's got a PhD. The man is incredibly intelligent. I've talked to the guy in person, and it's just like the utter contempt
Yeah.
for like a white right winger is so abundantly clear.
And that one clip that Dave posted, like there was no answer that Kaufness had.
No, there was not.
Yeah. No, but my point being is that to them, it's more of they are kind of like rear guard entryist types like James Lindsay, like him, Hanania, all those people. What's the person's the Wu person? I'm not gonna, for YouTube, I'm just gonna say Brianna Wu. Like all those people, I don't know if like Brianna was into HPD, but they certainly like pal around with each other. But to them, there are sort of like
failed Congress candidate Brianna Wu.
No, the Gamergate,
no, I know, but didn't they run for?
I think yeah. Brianna Wu ran for something and didn't win.
He ran for Congress, right?
Yeah, something like that. Was it for Congress?
Was it?
Oh my god!
Yeah, in 2018, unsuccessfly ran for Congress in Massachusetts' 8th congressional district. Okay, yeah, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
What place did he get?
Oh my god.
Announced his departure from the race due to the fears of the spread of COVID-19. Yeah, no, Stephen F. Lynch. There you go.
Oh man. No, but my point being is that they act as a rearguard in the sense that they are trying to shore up the most the most like apparent and fatal internal flaw to the end of history liberal order, which is human intelligence and biodiversity and admitting that there's differences among people. To them, if you got rid of like if you were to create slightly, not even full blown, but like slightly racist, they're never going to touch the other side of that because I mean, well, I'm not going to get into that, but but like slightly race realist liberalism would essentially be their end of history plan. Like to them,
so like 1920s America, 1910s America,
not even 1920s America. Like maybe kind of, but not really, because these people, they also love the whole like their conception of racial and human capital excellence is like we could still bring in like the quote unquote high IQ H1Bs from China and India. Like they're not the
sinophilia that comes from like elite human capital types is like, well, we want tiger moms for like everyone who's here, but oh, by the way, like our fallback religion is Judaism, and we have a lot of investment in China and Japan, and it's like, so this is a glorified like
it's more 1992 than 1922.
Yes. Yeah. Although, like, we should go back to the 1920s and just like pass the Reed Johnson Act and just go back.
Yeah,
that's what elite human capital would really be into. It's like only the best, only the best,
and of course,
the rest of you got to leave.
Yeah, and I think another thing too is that because a lot of these people have particularly freakish qualities, even for the standards of like liberal academia, you guys like them. And other people that I shouldn't mention, they do have like I think this sort of pent up anxiety over their own role and their own place within the larger discourse. Even if you do look at them like,
well, imagine if the only people who listened to you were the people you hated.
Yeah,
like imagine just a bunch like hate listeners where the only like for instance like not Kaufness, but like Hanania's biggest defenders after the Richard Host thing were probably the very people whom Hanania hates. It's just like, wow, thanks Chris Rufo, thanks all these like chuddy white guys that probably listened or read my work on countercurrents circa 2010 that are defending me.
I wonder how many people that wrote for Radix anonymously are probably are in the same boat. I wonder.
Well, I imagine that there's a lot more of those kind of upper political or middle class strata that exist that were interested in these ideas, because like, again, this is why I do enjoy forum culture as much as it is this archaic thing nowadays, because it's just, back then, like, your value as a poster wasn't about memes, or it wasn't about contributing to the dogpiling that, like, you received orders from the group chat, like, we're going to go do a mimetic drive-by on this guy's account. Instead, it was the quality of the content and the information that you had posted. And I mean, it's a bygone age of the internet. It still exists in some places. I like forums for that purpose. There are plenty that I will occasionally go to, or I'll look at the old archives of, like, the American nihilists that had one, way back then.
Oh, Anus?
Yeah, Anus. Yeah.
That was great. That stuff was great. Yeah.
There's a lot of bangers there. That may be the only time you ever hear me positively say anything with the word anus attached in the sentence. But like, that place was great. You can still read it. It turns out a lot of my mutuals that are like old heads were regulars there. And it's just like, that makes a lot of sense how you got to where you are today.
There's a pretty popular tech writer I know that is like mainstream, and she actually grew up reading anus. Like, it's...
See, that's the kind of naughty things that, women should also not be reading.
Well, they're reading Anus now, but it's it's not the intellectual. It's
it's not the American nihilists. It's the Minotaurs. That's what it is.
It's not even like that Minotaur, metaphor in House of Leaves. It's something way worse. Like, she's getting, like, in that book, she's getting to the center of something, but I'm not gonna.
I don't want you to finish that.
No, it's all right.
Because that really implies that you've read bits.
I've not read it, but like, I think someone in Burden's chat was like screen capping excerpts of it, and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, half of Burden's job is to investigate coal, so that doesn't really surprise me in the slightest. Like, the man listened to Mark Levin talk today, and I was just like, God have mercy on you.
That was so great. That was like, when I was in high school, like, I actually listened to a bit of Mark Levin, and I'm like, oh my god, I never
enjoyed him in this. I mean, like, I listened to Rush Limbaugh. I like Sean Hannity would be the guest host.
That was the Callers.
Yeah. But I distinctly remember, like, when I was in high school, I went to the dentist's office, and the guy was listening to Mark Levin on the radio while I was getting like a cleaning, and I was thinking to myself, this guy sucks.
That is Texas right there.
This guy stinks. It's bad. It was
this guy stinks.
I'm not a fan at all whatsoever. I can't say I was enjoying it in any way, shape, or form.
One of the funniest parts of the EDP documentary was that EDP, he's like listing all of his real gamer words. And like, of course, like Trump, the Tates, Joe Rogan, Pearl Davis. He lists Ben Shapiro as one of his idols. And he says, you listen to Ben Shapiro every day, you set yourself straight. And I'm like, cute.
I like the idea that, like, the strongest soldier that
for Ben Shapiro's
Ben Shapiro's strongest soldier is just like a black lolcow,
PDF file.
Interesting to say the least.
No, I watched the documentary because I did that video on it.
I know. Yeah,
and I watched the Kino Casino playthrough watch through of it, and I remember like I remember PvP's like, there's so many influencers who are praying to God at this moment. Please, no. Do not mention my name positively. But the funny, apart from that, it is a terrible documentary. It's great Kino. It's great. Just watch my video that I did. But the one other funny thing, do you remember the New Yorker coverfold spread of the intellectual dark web?
Yes.
EDP has a poster of that picture of the intellectual dark web in his room. This room where he's gooning in, he has that poster of like Peterson and the Weinsteins and Rogan, and like I saw that in the corner of my eye, and I could not contain. I had to pause the video, and I'm like, I don't know, how am I going to get through this? How it's for the Kino.
You tell me, man. You tell me.
How did I get through? I was dying. I couldn't.
And you ask yourself, how did I get here? How did I watch that big documentary about a lolcow? in my
Oh
beautiful
my
house,
God.
in my
I didn't-
beautiful
you know,
void. And you tell
I didn't-
yourself, this isn't my big, beautiful house. This isn't my void. You know, and the days go by, right? You know, that's just how it is. That's how it is
Yeah,
online.
oh my God, that was. I didn't know that if you had a kidney transplant, you can't have Coca-Cola. It's filled with phosphates.
Yeah, they tell you to avoid that stuff like the plague.
So DDP, yeah, he's like this full of phosphates, and he just takes.
Well, okay. He's on dialysis. There's a big difference.
He's got
difference.
end-stage renal failure. Yeah,
He has end-stage renal ESRD, so end-stage renal disease, which automatically qualifies you for Medicare and Medicaid, and we subsidize billions of dollars for people who make terrible life choices. So when you're on dialysis, the thing that they tell you not to do is to partake of anything with a large degree of phosphorus. So when you eat, you're supposed to be taking phosphate binders. And so it's meant to lower your phosphate levels. And the reason why it's done is to prevent bone risk and damage to gut health. So usually they mix with the food, and so you always take them when you eat.
Well, is it because your kidneys can't process phosphates?
Well, that, and also your kidneys are gone, so like their purpose explicitly are for taking out the electrolytes. You need to be doing them when you're in kidney failure, and you primarily do them to prevent any sort of bone disorders. So usually like hyperphosphatemia or mineral and bone disorders. So like CKD, MPD, and you need to keep it within a particular level. So like they really want you to avoid Coke. They really want you to avoid a lot of processed meats, nuts, beans, lentils.
Can you eat eggs or no?
Egg whites. They were you can eat
really?
Egg whites. Yeah.
All the phosphates are in the yolk?
Yeah, most of them are in the yolk. So really, depending on how well you're taking care of yourself, you just eat some Tums or Alka-Seltzer while you're doing it. But if like they really need to like take care of you, like say like they want a stronger binder, one of them was Velphoro, which was like, I couldn't even tell you what the hell it was. It was this like iron giant tablet that was like, go chew on this, and it's the most disgusting thing on God's green earth. And I did not take. I took it for about a week.
Like?
It tastes like iron, and it's bitter, and it's
nasty. It's like eating blood
and chalky. Which was not fun. I literally only had it for a week because my nephrologist was like, try this. And it was like the sample box, and then like 6 days later I got the call for the transplant. But like that was an awful 6 days. I will say that. But yeah, so he's bitching because he can't have all the stuff that's bad for him. And guess what? That doesn't stop him or anyone
he's still eating,
from making terrible decisions. Because it's really wild. Like when you see someone who's say like 40 and under, usually at like a dialysis center or whatever, it's usually due to like
some kind of genetic, like a
genetic. Like in my instance, it was like there was a congenital defect that caused damage that wasn't correct until I was 6, and then the damage had already been done. And like they failed. I don't know how old was I? 25? Yeah, 25. And then, but I was the only person under the age of 30, and everyone else who was like middle aged, it was usually due to diabetes. And then everyone else is like super elderly, and for them it's just organ failure, right? And of course, like you could always tell who like the big people were, because it was like, well, there they are on dialysis, and like that's and so it gets awkward because like on one hand, it's one of the situations where it's like maybe we shouldn't be subsidizing the decisions of bad people, and we should be encouraging like more preventative and proactive measures to healthcare. This is why I like the whole MAHA coalition. But at the same time, I'm like, I am also a recipient of this program. I understand how like hypocritical I would be.
It's hard to look at someone in the face and say,
that you don't deserve it,
but
right?
Like I think even if you are like fat, you're still like, if you're in the program, obviously you're still trying. Whereas like EDP, he's got so little time. Like apparently he's got maybe 1 or 2 years, and he's like just.
Well, if you're not taking care of yourself, like
he's not even going to take the Ozempic. You know what I mean?
Well, you can stay. So here's the thing: like you can stay alive on dialysis. You cannot. You cannot get healthy on it.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
stay alive on it
exactly.
for a very, very long time. There are people who've been on dialysis for decades because they have like a genetic condition that is so rare or whatever.
I
Like
know one of my
transplant,
old man's friends like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's so rare, like you can't do it, or like they're like, oh, well, you're over 65. Like the odds of you getting a transplant is like nigh, impossible because it's just like
Yeah.
you're old, like you're very low on the priority list. And so it's just like, what are you gonna do, right? Like you're gonna do it. The most depressing thing I really do remember was like they would always when I was on it, it was always people from like an elderly home that would get bussed in. And they had the same
Yeah.
schedule I did, so I did Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and it's a 4-hour process. And the most depressing thing was when they stopped showing up because
Oh,
that's
then yeah.
well, because they made the decision like screw this, I'm just gonna go out on my terms and
Yeah.
prepare their affairs.
Well,
And
that's
like
an
it's a
EVP said that.
very conscious decision
Oh
to go
man.
forward and do. And it's always heartbreaking because like if you're doing it with like a fistula where like the needles are going into your arm and you don't have like a port or like a pick line or whatever, like there's a good chance that like if you don't like, have the wound properly set once the needles are done, like
Hmm.
you just like you're gonna start bleeding. And like I've seen really nice pieces of clothing get ruined or just people's days getting ruined because it's just like, ah shit, my arm is bleeding all over again. Now I gotta like stay here for another 20 minutes and
Oh my god.
make my aunt or whoever wait. Like it's not a fun time in any way, shape, or form. And
No,
it's
it's
just
their
like this.
life, yeah.
Yeah, it's your life, and that's exactly what it is. And it's sort of crazy to think about. But that's just
Yeah.
part of the process. Part of the
But
process.
EDP deserves it, obviously. That's
I haven't watched the documentary. If all the allegations are true, like I'm not
Oh
gonna
no,
go
he
out of
admits them all.
I'm not
Like
gonna
they're
go
all
out of my
true.
way to defend the guy in any way, shape, or form.
No, I know. If you've been through it, it's different.
It's like a little, yeah. I was about to say it's a little bit different
But
in
no,
this
he just
regard.
bald-face admits everything. It's no, but apparently is it true he said that if he even like misses a weekly appointment, it's over for him.
If it's that bad, yeah, like you really
Yeah.
aren't supposed to be um no, like you're not supposed to miss any appointments at
Oh
all.
man.
No.
Oh,
You're
that's
putting yourself at serious risk
depressing.
for death. So don't do that.
Yeah.
And if you're on dialysis, dear listeners, and which I never want you to ever be, but if you happen to be listening and you have your phone on and you're sitting in that freezing cold dialysis center, know that I have been there and know that you are in my prayers. So I know it's not fun.
Oh man.
So make the
Yeah.
most of it. And while you're there, read a good book and go get cozy. I used to work from home on my laptop while I was there, and I would just
But
get work done while I was on dialysis.
oh, you don't feel it, do you? You don't feel
Oh
it?
no, you feel everything. Like
Oh man.
blood and fluid is literally being pulled out of your body, and depending on how much they're pulling, because they weigh you when you get in, and they weigh you on the way out to tell you how much they pulled. Because again, it's filtering out all of the crap that your
Yeah.
body can't filter. Because you don't sweat, you don't really piss. Like depending on how bad your kidney function is, like you're not doing anything. Like they'll do tests to see how much work your kidneys still have in terms of functionality, and like they'll give you like a container and they'll do like a 24-hour collection and then go from there.
Whoa.
And so yeah, they'll weigh you, but like you'll feel it because like they have to monitor your blood pressure because that also spikes due to the stress. You can get nauseous, especially when you first start doing it. I was just like a sieve. I was just nonstop vomiting, and then eventually you get used to it, and then it's like, yeah, whatever. I got to a point where it's like, oh, I'm lightheaded. Like, oh, okay, whatever. I'll go eat something afterwards, and I'll just drive home and take care of myself. But like, yeah, when you start out, no, but you feel everything. Like,
Holy
and
crap.
it's not a comfortable situation in the sense of like, yeah, like I'm normal, I'm fine, but like if it pulls too much, immediate leg cramps because you're taking all this fluid out. And, like,
Oh
it's an
god.
incredibly uncomfortable experience.
I've had a lot of Charlie horses waking up in the middle of the night in my life.
Yeah, imagine that, but like you can't stop
Both
what's
legs.
causing it because
Oh god.
you need it to live. So nevertheless, those are some of the fun. I could probably tell more stories like this. But like
but I will say what really is sad. I thought EDP was 40 years old. You know how old he is? He's 35 years old.
He's 35.
And he's got end-stage renal failure. Yeah. He's
Well,
35
I
years
was
old.
25 when mine finally happened. So
Well, but I mean,
I
that's a different.
yeah, but I also my lifestyle is a little bit different. It's to say the least.
Yeah.
I am not a.
He went into graphic detail too about how he discovered.
I don't want to know. I'm glad. I'm
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it for
I've seen the
YouTube.
clips. I don't need to. I don't need to see the rest.
Yeah.
But I mean, like on in better news, the administration has racked up some wins today on immigration, which makes me feel very, very happy. The Ninth Circuit says district courts can't block ICE operations over past harms. We put out a new visa fee system using the appropriate measures for fee applications. So the $100,000 H-1B thing is back, although they need to find a way to also implement a fee for H-1B renewals, because I'm tired of the people who are already in here on a visa system taking away American jobs. And apparently they're finally going after Ilhan Omar. So I'm happy about that. It's a good day for red meat. It's a great day for red meat. That's like the best part is the red meat is actually real and it tastes really fucking good.
I don't know how far they're gonna get with Omar though.
I don't know, but it is certainly entertaining. To say the least. Nice to see that Donald Trump has been modded into the Skyrim introduction. I'm all. I may have to play that if that's a real mod. I'll definitely have to do that one because I do have the stupid Dagoth companion one installed. It'd be fun to run into Trump during the Skyrim Civil War quest line. We're gonna go make Tamriel great again. It'll be a fun. Well, we'll make Skyrim great again because Skyrim belongs to the Nords. It's that straightforward.
Well, I've never played Skyrim.
I feel like
people play hours. Is it true like you can just like lose hours upon hours?
Considering you have never, hold on, how much is Skyrim right now? I'm about to buy it for you.
I mean,
the Elder Scrolls Special Edition.
I don't think I have enough skills to play Skyrim.
My brother and Adam, you can play Skyrim.
Oh man.
This is not a difficult game. If you can play GTA Vice City, you can play Skyrim.
You play Skyrim?
You can play Skyrim. I'm about to gift you Skyrim. So
how much is it?
It's $40. I'm about to
No, don't do it.
Your super chats are funding Gio's losing all. If you thought his book was never going to get published before, wait until he buys Skyrim.
I'm actually editing the Humans of Flat Design chapter.
Finally. So when's it? Do we have an anticipated publication date?
I don't know. I mean, I still have to. There's 2 chapters I have to redo. And then it's pretty much all done. I just have to email my guy again. But I don't know. I don't want to talk about the other depressing news lately, but we'll see what happens with that by come September.
What depressing news?
The tariff situation.
Oh.
I might have to charge people more now. But
you deserve more money.
I'm already lowballing enough as it is, man. I should really.
You deserve more money. I have a Gio original in my house that my wife picked out for a steal.
I have to go to those local fair things that people do. I haven't done that yet. I mean, one day, when I print off some business, I'm thinking of getting business cards.
You need business cards too.
Yeah, where it's got the QR code to the website type deal. My old man, he has a local.
Have you seen? No. See, this is why we need to have the next time that we're on camera live. I really want to do.
Let's face next week, maybe.
Yeah, well, I want.
We gotta back because the YouTube algorithm. We gotta get back to that.
Yeah, we do. But also, what I was gonna say is we need to. I want to face for the sole purpose of when you have your business card, so then we can do the business cards. I have a framed Gio original. Will be worth many shekels. That is true.
Oh, you mean Paul Allen? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see Gio's. Let's see Paul Allen's Gio Giant Art Productions card.
Off bone. What was it off? The color was off bone or something.
Yeah. The subtle off-white coloring.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. The subtle off-white coloring. The tasteful
Donald
thickness of it. Oh my god! It even has a watermark.
Donald Trump isn't my favorite person recently. Well, not just recently, but but he did say, okay, out of all the things he did say, the one thing I can agree, you got to give the devil his due. He said that Doug Ford is a pale imitation of his brother Rob Ford, and it's nobody can argue with that. We all missed the legendary
we
Rob
lost
Ford.
the wrong Ford.
I said yes. We have
and
lost.
I don't mean to imply that I want anyone to die, but like,
no, of course not. But if I had to trade,
if there was someone who was going to take the national stage of conservative Canadian politics,
Rob Ford would have.
The crack smoking mayor from Toronto should have been the guy.
If Rob Ford was the premier, I think Trump would have a much different opinion on Canada.
Well, I mean, if Rob Ford was, because like in my brain, I've thought about this lovely, alternate history scenario that I will somehow incorporate into the next time I go play Hearts of Iron 4, which is just like, I want Rob Ford as like, the Prime Minister of Canada, and it's just a make North America great again kind of thing, where like Canada and the United States have joint stock ownership over what's left of Mexico.
That's like the Maple MAGA people in Alberta.
Yeah, it's Maple MAGA, but it's real.
It's like Ontario.
In retrospect, maybe with Maple MAGA, it's maybe a good idea that Rob Ford is not the premier or the Prime Minister of Canada, because I feel like he would go. He would have gone all in on that shit.
A Rob Ford Prime Minister of Canada. Oh, I can't. We were robbed of this. Look at this comment by Neon Suspenders. I didn't think it was possible to not play Skyrim in the 15 years it's been out. That's actually rather impressive.
Actually, yeah, that is really impressive.
Rob Ford, the North American Union based, the Amero based.
It's true. Neon Suspenders. Also, the idea of Neon Suspenders is so delightfully 2008 coded that I almost want a pair.
You can hear the stomp clap pay.
I can literally hear someone dancing to like Tayo Cruz's Dynamite in a really shitty dive bar outside of Philly. I can imagine it right now in Neon Suspenders. It's just like hipster or gay bar, call it.
Where were you living in 2000? Is it
where was I living in 2008? I was overseas.
Oh, you're still in Germany.
I was overseas due to my dad's. It was a simpler time. It was a simpler time. It's true.
It's because 2007 was the big troop surge, right?
2009 was the big troop surge.
When they went into Mosul and all that.
When they went into when it was the big Afghan push.
Yeah.
The hipsters.
Obama was like, Philly. That's the good war.
That's great. I'm glad that the hipsters are retaking Philly.
You know what? Of course, CDP's favorite team. What Philadelphia Eagles.
The Eagles.
When they were filming it, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. That was such a surreal moment of like, you're basically like a celluloid equivalent of murder has just been taking place, like a justifiable homicide. And like right at that moment, EDP experiences his dream come true of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Like that was such a surreal moment, that one. There were many surreal moments.
The eternal Okie hates the Eagles. Gee, I wonder why.
Oh man, my aunt is a diehard. Well, like kind of like a lot of people in Niagara. My aunt's a diehard Buffalo Bills fan. So I gotta go for the Bills.
How much influence does the NFL have on like the Canadian sports fan zeitgeist?
Like if you were in like Niagara, if you like, okay, there's a lot of people that do watch the CFL too. But if you're like in Niagara, even like people in Toronto, like if you ask them, like what's your favorite football team? 9 times out of 10, a lot of people around here, they're going to say the Buffalo Bills. Like in Toronto, it's different because I'm assuming like there's a lot of people, like for example, PvP, his favorite team's the Cowboys. That's like a lot of people, right? Though if you're Canadian, I guess for whatever reason you have like,
it is one of the most recognized brands in general in the US.
There's like people in like, there's like people in Brazil and people around the world are like Toronto Maple Leafs fans that watch hockey. That's incredible. It's like that, right? So like there's a lot of fans of the Cowboys. But if you're in my area, chances are most people that are into American football are into the Buffalo Bills. Because it's just so easy to go over there and see them, right? And they have this huge stadium now. Apparently they built this new stadium. So yeah, like my aunt has been like a lifelong Bills fan. She remembers like in the 90s when they kept making the Super Bowl and then they kept losing. Oh man.
Yeah.
But like for example, if you're in Vancouver, right, you're gonna go for the Seahawks, obviously. It's kind of like that, you know. I never, of course, because they're rivals with the Leafs, but I was never a fan of the Buffalo Sabres, but I really like the 90s Buffalo Sabres team because like that was like pure blood and guts. Like they had like the whole team basically was enforcers almost. It was incredible. But no, I was never into football. Like I've watched a few games here and there, but I know you're a bit into football, Prude, or no, your old man's into football.
My family is into football. Me, not so much.
Cowboys?
No. Well, my grandfather's a Cowboys fan. No, my family is a Green Bay family.
How does that work out?
My
That's
father's side of
blasphemy.
the family is from the Midwest.
Oh,
my
there you
mother's
go.
side is
That's
from
where.
Texas.
Oh, I see. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember the meme about the dismantler phenotype?
Yeah.
Okay, so turns out, so I've seen this from like 4 or 5 different Twitter accounts. I don't know if this is true. I am going to acknowledge that this is true. This is spiritually true. Because she is a real professor. She is someone who actually teaches cosmology.
I've heard of her.
And yes, I know her from the dismantler phenotype meme, where it's like a black and Jewish admixture.
The cosmic? Oh,
the cosmos is a black aesthetic. Yeah. I almost want to listen in.
It's like 2010s Afro-pessimism stuff. Well, it's the opposite of Afro-pessimism.
Isn't it funny that like the CCRU were more bullish on like Afro interpretations than anyone?
Oh yeah, but that's a huge criticism among like contemporary theory cells is that they like in the 2010s that was like one of the sticking points against the CCRU is that they were like very
they were optimistic.
Not just optimistic, but like they didn't.
Do they consider it appropriation when they did the whole Afro-Atlantis theory?
Themselves. Yeah.
Boo-hoo! A bunch of like
they didn't. But then there was a lot of
theory cells had an idea and ran with it. Heaven forbid a white boy get a little motion.
Yeah, but exactly. But the thing is, like, there was a lot of Afro-pessimism that came out in the 90s as well. There was a lot of even like Afrofuturism, like I forget.
Yeah, no, there was a boatload of Afro-pessimism. That is true. Like, the best example I can think of is HBO's The Wire.
No, I watched
that show and I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely pessimistic.
Yeah, there's probably some Afro-pessimist that has done an analysis of The Wire, but no, there was a lot of Afro cosmicism and Afro-futurism, like Kudo Aswaw, I forget how to pronounce his name, but he did that one book called More Brilliant Than the Sun, which is like the definitive analysis of 90s techno music and electronic music. Like, can you pull that up? Actually,
I'm not pulling that up. I'm good.
No, it's a great book, Prude.
I think that there's enough worship on the timeline as it is. Like, I'm good.
Don't do this. No, the woman there, the presentation. What's
okay, yeah. We can do that. Sorry, chat. For those listening on audio, you have it so good right now.
I'm not gonna do a stupid meme about fellas or whatever, but Chanda Prescott Weinstein. What does it mean to turn a black feminist lens onto how understand and interpret the cosmic as a concept, and where we look for the cosmic, and what does it matter to declare that the cosmos is a black aesthetic?
Read Nick Lance.
What is at stake? And in the investigation, the cosmic is a black method, and the effective lens for empiricism that method teaches. I don't know. I don't know how empiricism would fit into it, but I'm not gonna lie to you, Prude. Like, I know we're supposed to make fun of it, but I'm not gonna lie to you.
You want to go? Like, you want to go? I know
I'm burying my own grave. I know.
You want to go? No, you want to sit in on this talk, don't you?
I'm not joking. I say this with 100% sincerity. I hope that there's a recording of it. I would actually sit down and listen to this. if I lived near New Hampshire, I definitely would go and see it.
It's at CU Boulder.
Oh, in Colorado. Where's
Yeah, it's in Colorado.
Oh man, yeah. No, but if I was in Colorado, I definitely would go. I'm not joking with you. It does seem I can kind of suss out maybe what she's gonna say, but I would. I don't know, man. I kind of think that if you take all those people, and if you were to like, I know the racial animus is there, but I don't know, something about like trying to delve into like Afro spiritualism. Like I don't know. I can't fault him for it. I think it's kind of interesting. I know I'm bearing my grave from. I keep digging my grave because last week
this was something Dimes and I talked about the other. Every time we do like a weird, kooky left wing book on Do You Even Read? It's just like really the only people who read this are other academics and chuds. Like the only people who read anything regarding like the black interpretation of anything is
other
just
academics and chuds.
It's other academics and right wingers, because we're the only ones that are going to give the devil their due, and that's how it's gonna be. Like, how many like actual conservative pundits, for instance, like how many actual conservative pundits probably read Robin DiAngelo's like White Fragility? Probably not many. Maybe Matt Walsh.
Maybe Ben Shapiro had an excerpt like thrown on the screen while he's doing his show.
And like, but probably just Matt Walsh.
Yeah, probably just Matt Walsh.
Because he did the, Am I a Racist documentary or whatever, which was delightfully entertaining to watch.
I don't know. Was it like cringy to watch, or was it a good?
I mean, a little, but like it was entertaining. Like that may be the best Daily Wire original thing they've put out. Although, like, I'm going to speak this into the ether, and someone will pay us eventually to review it. But like they're doing the run shoot, the run hide thing, the run hide fight movie, but it's in college, and like a bunch of like jihadists take over and hold the whites and Jewish kids hostage, and it's like the black token conservative rescues them from the jihadists, and I'm like, paging Dr. Potteritz, like, you're needed over here.
But wouldn't that threaten the interpretation of like the leftists are supporting the Islamists? Or is it just that like, oh, you get what you deserve because now the Islamists are taking over the university? It's like symbolic.
It's the get what you deserve, and like,
oh yeah, it's just like a
it's a black veteran who gets called an Uncle Tom that saves the day. It's so. Some are calling.
Like Chuck Norris always had a black sidekick.
Yeah. Some are calling this the most like. I can't even say. I can't finish that.
Morgoth really liked my review of those Chuck Norris movies. I had to paywall it though. It's
who did?
Morgoth.
Okay. Well, good.
But he had a similar video about Chuck Norris. Well, I think him and who's this code? Endeavor. I do enjoy the movie streams a lot. Those are incredibly cozy. Yeah, they're great.
They're always alive when I'm at church, so it's like the thing I listen to as I take a post-liturgical nap.
Yeah, look at these comments though. Gio is supporting a fellow Italian. Gio supports black queens. What color is tree surgeon? What color is space? Case closed.
Did I see the trailer for Onslaught? No, I did not. I want you to understand, I don't want to call myself media illiterate, but I really do not pay attention to what that is.
What is Onslaught?
I don't know. I'm about to go look it up. 2026 Onslaught, starring a whole bunch of people. I have no idea who the hell they are. An army sniper unleashes her lethal skills to protect her young daughter from genetically engineered soldiers. An hour and a half. It's a slasher film. It's supposed to come out in like 2 weeks.
Whoa!
An army sniper living in a trailer park must protect her family from some super soldier threats that have escaped starring Adria Arjona Torres. Okay, I've never heard of her.
Oh, it's an A24 movie.
It's an A24 film, baby. Which means it's going to be some low budget, quick cut slop.
Yeah, like that was that one.
I love Adobe Premiere Pro. What's the free Apple one? Is it just CapCut Pro or whatever?
CapCut's the free one that all the I should use CapCut. All the TikTokers and Instagram people use that. Yeah.
Welcome back.
Oh, she was in The Guest. I think my
have no
parents
idea.
watched that movie.
The Guest. What is that?
Oh no, that was the other movie that this director
Oh, okay,
directed.
okay. Apparently, she was also in Andor. She was in Morbius, so you know how good this movie's gonna be.
Oh god!
And then she pulled out her sniper rifle and said it's Morbin time, and just morbed all over those freaks. But we're about an hour in, so we need to continue on with the usual
I can't believe
tradition.
it's already been an hour in. No.
Yeah, we've had a lot to just sort of.
Oh my god, Eric from fucking Tim and Eric is in this thing.
Oh,
does he get shot?
No,
Eric is actually the better one. Like, I think he was the real.
I can't. How could they do this?
I have a best friend in real life. He was like an astonishingly huge Tim and Eric fan, and I just never got like, okay, certain things were funny, like the ones with John C. Reilly, where he was like the interviewer or professor, whatever he was. Like those were funny. Like when he went to the prison one. He's like, oh, you're a big cop burglar, and the prisoner's just like about to shank him. That was pretty funny.
He is 50 years old.
Yeah,
that is a crazy thing to think about. Crazy.
Oh
but anyways, the Tim and Eric show is not something I'm particularly familiar with at all. So
I only watched like one or two episodes.
It's one of these pieces of millennial content that I just had no exposure to as when I was younger. Did
you ever watch Wonder Shows?
Wonder Show? Yes.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
That
was the most superior, I think, of that era, that generation. Wonder Shows.
That was something. To say the least. But anyways,
all right, let's move on.
So we have been over the course of the last year, I guess. We did the first review earlier this year.
Yeah.
So we have been going.
Oh, we didn't mention Thomas's book though. We didn't mention that.
I have my copy in hand.
Me too. Yeah.
And I will be doing a review.
There you go.
I will be. So that's also on my list of things.
But for I should warn people though. If you're going to Amazon,
there are okay. So if you're going to buy Thomas's book, there are numerous fake Thomases and fake book copies writing off of it. So just be sure to get the one that's says Thomas Sear. Yeah, get that one. If you're going to go buy the book, go buy it from Thomas Sear. Don't go buy it from anyone else.
Yeah.
Because if not, you are not going to get you're not going to get the book that you're looking for.
You're going to get AI slop. That's like a dry rundown of the Nuremberg trial.
Yeah.
That's what Cap said. It's just like AI stuff.
It is, because you can read a section.
Yeah. Oh man.
All right. So here we go. Over the course of the last year, Gio and I have been paid to read and review and discuss Gene Wolfe's Book of the New Sun. I guess tetralogy? The 4 books involved. So we did. We already did the first one, which was Shadow of the Torturer, and then we were paid by our lovely pay froggies and pay angels to continue on. And so today we are going to be talking about the Claw of the Conciliator, and that's what we're going to do. So I have been reading through this blind. So I have not consulted a podcast. I have not consulted forums. I've not consulted AI. I am not this is my first time reading anything by Gene Wolfe. So everything that you're going to hear from me tonight is raw, naked reaction and my thoughts and interpretations of the story and the things that I read. And I need to preface it that because I may say something that sounds absolutely stupid, or I maybe totally be contradicted in the next book. But this is just my raw take. I don't know about you, Gio. Have you read these books before? Are you familiar with them?
No, I have not. No.
Okay. So this is all. This
my
is
knowledge. My knowledge of Gene Wolfe before this was through Landshark tweets.
There you go.
Yeah.
So my knowledge of Gene Wolfe came from all of my Catholic Twitter mutuals.
Yeah. Oh my god. So where should we start? Because The introduction to this book is wild.
Do you want to start with your overall impressions?
I like okay,
I thoroughly enjoyed this way more than Shadow of the Torturer. And furthermore, and more importantly, like, wow, does Gene Wolfe really make you fucking work for it? But also at the same time,
there
like, I feel
two
like
short stories within this story, by the way.
Yeah, there are two short stories. Well, there's a play and a short story. Which is far more detailed than the stage play we get from Dr. Talos in The Shadow of the Torturer. Although, it is very much based off Genesis and eschatology and things such as that matter.
And also Severin's journey in general.
Severin's Severin's journey we'll get into it. But I mean, like, so I feel like in this one, Gene Wolfe is like really telling you he's almost like he's like Christian Bale from The Prestige, and he's like, are you watching closely? Like, are you reading between the lines? Because I feel like this book, out of all four, I don't know, I'll get to the next two if we're paid to review it, but I have a feeling that we will be, is that this one
we're gonna end up reviewing all four of them.
I know that we will, because I know who's been sponsoring this, and I know that he's going to want us to do the whole thing, which is totally fine. I'm all for it. I've really enjoyed reading this one more than The Shadow of the Torturer, because now that I have sort of a baseline of what kind of world I'm in, all of that has been thrown, I don't want to say out the window, but it's like, actually, here's a different way to interpret it or how to read it. And it's particularly interesting because for me, like, okay, I know that this is set far in the distant future where Earth is Earth with URF or URTH. The sun is dying. The world is radically different. And like spaceport / space station is where the Torturers Guild is, the Order of, Penitence, was there. And that's like, okay, like there was clear references to like photos or pictures of astronauts and certain forms of technology that are so ancient that I think it's was it Arthur C. Clarke that said, like, a superiorly, technologically superior society, their technology would be like magic to us because we don't understand it. Like that's clearly present, because like there is a scene towards the end of the book where the witches that they run into are like, magic doesn't exist. Like there is a logical answer to everything, but if you think it's magic, then it's magic. And at the same time, you're also being exposed to like androids are a thing, robots are a thing, advanced computer technology, trans-dimensional travel.
Mirrors that essentially teleport you to another dimension.
We have seafarers, which are essentially people who were on spaceships and things like that.
Like Pandora style sea ships.
And so it's all there, but at the same time, like it reads like a pretty gritty D&D campaign, but the way that the language is used is so. You really have to like read it once or twice to be like, I think I understand what he's getting at here.
It's also very masculine to almost the point of gratuitousness, like Severin admitting.
Severian has no moral
EDP
concept
activities.
Like I spent so much time with Jolenta over here that I didn't really care, and then later you find out that like there is nothing consensual about that at all whatsoever,
and that he wanted to essay this certain woman when he was an apprentice, and like his master actually admitted to being like a smackhead, and it's very like
his master is just like, the worst thing that you can do as a torturer is actually abuse someone. And then the way that he asks the question of like, are you interested in doing that, is just like, do you have hair on you?
It's very like it people say that
our morality is alien to you.
Like people say that there actually was a lot of promiscuity in the medieval days. Like that's like they had a different notion of sexuality than we.
Well, I mean, like if you were to read even the parodies or the satire of that time, like the Decameron.
Like the Decameron.
I was about to say, like that's the most abundantly obvious one I could think of. It's just like the Decameron is like pretty damn obvious about
plus
what that kind of sexual morality would have looked like.
Yeah, plus us meds, you know what I mean? Like we can't control ourselves.
Sure.
But that's no, so the novel is a very, this is 1980s America. This is not Like this book would never, like this series would never be published nowadays. The way that sci-fi has gone. But the thing is with Gene Wolfe is that it's very clear, even the second book. I mean, there's 4 books, and apparently there's more than 4 books, apparently, but the main 4 books is that you really are getting an odyssey of Western civilization from the Greeks to the Romans to Christianity. From the pagan past to Christianity, you're getting it all. And it's a very elaborate, there's a lot of very sly references to Hermeticism and Gnosticism. And it's, for example, he meets in this book.
The word Gnostic is used quite often in the text.
Yeah. And he does actually end up meeting the Anarch, right? So, who is this sort of magician figure, or he's like he thinks it's a court eunuch, but really is a magician. And also you have this history, you have a lot of very exciting different time shifts. But to me, I almost got the impression that maybe because of the future theme and technology, it's sort of like Canticle for Leibowitz in the sense that there is a great calamity that is about to transform a truly planetary and now cosmic event, that the new sun will be reborn before essentially, the sun explodes and life as we know it is gone in our solar system. And the promise of the new sun is akin to the second coming of Christ. At least that's my interpretation. I mean, I think that's a pretty...
Well, they certainly make it clear that, like, the Conciliator is to come again, and like this will be the final time. Like, because this Christ-like / warrior deity, this conciliator between the transcendent and man. Again, the one mediator between God and man is Christ Jesus. Like the claim is just like he's coming for this is the last time. Whenever he's supposed to come again, right? Like for like in Christianity,
that's
like
it. It's over.
Coming, that's it. Like this is the second coming. Like this is the end. And it's funny because like so much of this like world gets like fleshed out really in the second half of the book.
Yeah.
Like the two coolest parts for me is reading from the Little Brown Book with Jonas / Miles. And
it was a cyborg Asian,
it was that was so delightful when they were like what was it, Kim Lee Seung, like they're in the Autarch's house, or no, they're in Vodalis's place.
Gene Wolfe predicted that there will be a Sinofuturism 1,000 years from now. There will be the China World Order.
This is the thing though, is that the name of like the OG descendants of these like prisoners who have like lived and bred and have lived in this building, they've never been outside. Gene talks about all these like oral traditions that they've held on to throughout the years, because none of these people know what the outside is like, and like to a point where I think it's
basically like Pandorum, like you live
but like one of the things that really stuck out to me was like they have no idea how any of the outside world works, that they think bees are the size of like dogs, which is a crazy mental image to think about in its own right. That would be terrifying. If
with genetic engineering in this world, probably that's true.
Well, sure. And like there's no indication about how much, like, again, the magic and the alteration of the body is just passed over as like, oh, like this is potions and other magic, sort of spells that, or something that an apothecary puts together. And it's like, well, this sounds like, plastic surgery or gene therapy. And like, you have really no idea unless you like give it a second or read through.
That is, I had to read it in certain passages multiple times, but that is a very interesting point you brought up. And we'll get to the main plot when we get to the house of the absolute. But essentially, in the future, and this is what a lot of like people that are into the whole like, Nick Land, AI mysticism, CCRU type of stuff, that after a certain point in time, especially if you have a lost civilization that achieves space travel, exoplanetary colonization, and life extension technologies, eventually the intersection of magic and technology would become a blurry line, and a lot of technological marvels will essentially become magic, and there will be no difference between a magical order and a technology. Like even Dr. Talos he is like a scientist. He's performing plastic surgery on a homely local barmaid and making her
through
into
the
like a
use
sex
of
icon.
hypnosis, drugs, and other means.
Yeah, and supplements and But the point being is that he really is a shaman in certain ways.
Yeah,
and you actually do encounter a shaman at the end.
You do encounter something at the end.
Yeah.
Shamanic, like a shamanic figure and or a harbinger kind of messenger figure. But also like it's really interesting.
Yeah,
but like there's also like the harbinger of the demiurge. Like there's a lot of things in here that get incorporated. Like there's references, of course, to Gnostic interpretations of creation. There's references, of course, to Christianity. The Incan sun god, solar god, is referenced throughout. And also, like, just I had to laugh. One of the things that did really give me a dry chuckle when I was reading it is like when they're going through when Severian is going through the little brown book and like going through these stories. Like, there's a clear reference to the ship of Theseus. And it's just like thesis, and I'm like, and it's spelled out like a thesis statement.
So apparently Jonas, his sidekick, but then he goes through a mirror and he leaves when they're in the House of Absolute
to repair himself.
Yeah, because he gets like basically AI psychosis. Believe it, like it's
rampancy.
Yeah. And so the theory goes among fans is that he was part of a spacefaring vessel that was part of this Asiatic, like cross-planetary empire that achieved space travel on a sustainable level and life extension technologies, where they went into a time warp and he came back like 1,000 years or so in the future, and his civilization has been lost and he crashed. And I think it was like the opposite of an android. Like he was a robot. He was a total cyborg, not cyborg, but he was a total robot.
He was like a synth. Like I'm thinking, he made me think of the synths from Aliens.
Yeah, but he, instead of adopting robotic parts to sustain himself after the crash, he had human parts that he harvested from.
Yeah, like the ship lands and the person, like they hurt someone on landing, and that's who he borrows the parts from, and it's the eyes that they couldn't repair, and so that's who he takes it from.
Memories as well.
Yeah. Which, okay, so at the beginning in the first book, in the Shadow of the Torturer,
go through the synopsis.
But like there's so many things to jump around to. Like the thing that finally there was the big sort of like oh shit moment, like because we at the beginning and when we first started going over this, it's made very clear to us and to all the readers. Oh, by this way, this book came out in 1981. Spoilers. Screw you, I guess, like this book is old enough to go to a No Kings protest. And so I say all this in part because in the first one, in the Shadow of the Torturer, it's abundantly clear to us, and Gene Wolfe makes it clear because again, this is taking place at an unknown point in time in the future after the events of the Book of the New Sun series have taken place. And that at the end of each book there's a translator's note to make it clear that for our form of English and our form of understanding, that a lot of effort and labor had to be done to make this their language comprehensible to us when it comes to like technology, class, race, etc. And so that raises questions of like, okay, this is in the far distant future, but now the translator's note is like, how do I make this comprehensible to like 21st century English? So is there like some eternal recurrence going on here that the sun constantly dies and is reborn again, and like the messianic Heliand comes in at the end? But then also that Severian is not a reliable narrator, but he has allegedly an eidetic memory.
Yeah.
And so this gets thrown off because, as we recall in the first book, we have a lady named Thecla. Again, we're gonna rip a lot of fun Christian names here. And like Thecla is a part of the beginning of the story in Shadow of the Torturer, and she's there, and he gives her books, and he offers her a way out to live, or to take herself out, rather than succumb to the torturers and his practice, because that's what they do. They treat it like an art form. It's a professional torturers guild. It's a guild of executioners. It's what's the CIA guy's name? Michael Kiriakou.
John Kiriakou.
John Kiriakou. Like it's a guild of John Kiriakous.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we're going to send you to Jerusalem. So
no, but Severin is almost like John Kiriakou because he leaves.
Yes, but like Severin is also like 20. If not maybe like, and he's anywhere from 17 to like 25. We don't have an exact age. But so anyways, Severin has an eidetic memory allegedly, and he's also our narrator. And he's a tough guy. But I mean, he's been in a monastic order where he's been doing hard physical labor his entire life. I kind of understand why he's kind of like he's incredibly strong.
He's kind of like Guts, yeah.
Yeah, he's our we have Guts at home. Minus he hasn't lost an arm, and he isn't in a suit of armor that encourages him to go to his like dark, unhappy place.
Yeah.
Anyways,
although I don't think Guts RP'd anybody.
No, he just witnessed it. Thanks, Griffith. So anyways, unreliable narrator, allegedly eidetic memory. You can't trust the guy anymore after this, because later on, Thekla's body is consumed with a form of this like parasite or this algae that allows him to consume parts of Thekla's flesh, which now merges his memories with hers.
It's very much ancient shamanic practice,
right? Like it's this cannibalistic desire in which now she's absorbed. It's analeptic Alzabo or Alzabo,
something like that, and he has memories and dreams of her, and he thinks that she's speaking to him,
and he thinks that he's her. Like when he's going through these memories or thinking about the world around him, like when after participating, he's like forced and snapped out of it by Jonas, where it's like, you are Severian, you are not her. She is dead. Like, yes, you've consumed part of her. And I thought it was really interesting that this secretion or this parasite or this formula, it comes from a carrion bird. It comes from like a vulture or a buzzard in this far off distant future / past or whatever. And I thought that was particularly interesting. Like, we're consuming in this ritual death practice of to consume one's flesh, and it's like, well, what if we took that as literal as possible in a material sense, where it's like, take, eat, this is my body and I will abide in you, but like very literally in your psyche. Like, you're going to have my memories. And like for him, it's very real in the sense that like Thekla's memories will be vital to having passwords or understanding certain ways to navigate and certain people. And it's certainly it's strange because it's like we now have a dual consciousness thing going on here. We have two wills, so to speak, playing off of some Chalcedonian interpretations of things, which I thought was particularly fun. It was a midnight ritual, kind of like Black Mass. I thought, well, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, we also have to understand that this takes place because Thekla worked for Vodalus, which we knew to be this like rebellious anti-authority figure to the autarch in the first book, and now we find out that like Vodalus's whole shtick, his whole movement, is to make humanity a spacefaring civilization again.
Make humanity
to return
again,
to the glory days in which this wasn't seen as magic, and we're not in this like late antiquity or early medieval understanding of the world, where everything is, the scientific understanding of the world has been thoroughly ritualized and interpreted through religious texts and mythological plays. And I thought that was
very much like an antinomian figure in that sense.
But also at the same time, he's a restorationist figure. Vodalus is, which is really, I mean, again, it makes me a little lot more sympathetic to his desire, because it's just like, well, this can't go on forever, and if man is to gain knowledge and is going to return to the stars, like it's going to kind of be vital if the sun is dying and everyone's just kind of waiting for like the eschaton to hit. So I understand his desire, but he's also kind of raging against the dying light. But as soon as it's like, oh, I've now consumed Thekla's consciousness and her memories now dwell in me, it's like, well, we can't trust anything that this guy says ever, right? Like, how much of this is Thekla? How much of this is Severian? Are there any other people in future stories that are going to be playing a role in his memories? And so it's just like, I can't trust the guy, but this is the only point of view that I have. he's not a reliable narrator, but most importantly, he's not omniscient. And so everything that we see is from him, but how much of it is actually him is now thrown into question.
And also his judgment of things as well, like towards Volus,
well, not just with Vodalist, but with everything.
Everybody, yeah. Like the way in like certain things that are revealed about like his companions, like Dr. Talos isn't exactly like I don't know. You always get the sense that Talos was shifty, but he and the thing is, like, Severin is also a deeply flawed person in a variety of ways. Like, and he is young too. Like, he does have like a lot of desires, and it is but it's also a very interesting thing because you don't get which I think is the problem with sci-fi nowadays and in fantasy in general. You don't get like the clear-cut hero, white meat babyface figure. Like, there is a lot of moral gray area there, and it's closer to a medieval idea of a hero than like what modern sci-fi writers do, and it's very interesting that way. Because Gene Wolfe is like that type of writer, you know. But shall we get to the?
I'm thinking about Dorcas. And I'm thinking about
she's such a sweet autist girl. I feel so bad
with a giant rack.
Yeah, I feel so bad for Severin. Just like
I was reading this, and the number of times in which like Dorcas is being the like autistic seducer type of character, because clearly there's sexual competition going on, because later Severin's like, I was like porking Jolenta over here without really any consent, and like I've been thinking about all the women in my life that I really wanted to pork, and it's just like, yeah, dude, and this woman with like wide hips and a massive like buxom breast, and like to which Jean is like talking about like how she's covering herself with her arms and how she's just like, I'm not one for walking or writing these kinds of things, am I? And it's just like, okay, we need to like I need to get the like little spray bottle out and like, you know, call the horny police.
And then he had a fantasy about when they were on the riverbed before he met the mermaid or whatever.
Back at the Lake of Birds,
like he like wanted to like have a three-way with both of them after Talos kicked her out, and then she started reverting back to being a homely bar wench when her like cosmetic technologies were failing.
That she was attacked by a blood bat.
And then that was strange. Like, was it a mermaid Severin met on the shore that wanted to drag him to the underworld, to the sort of like river forgetting type of deal? Is that what I was getting from
in the first book? Or are we talking about
Claw of the Conciliator, the second book? He's on the river's edge, and then he sees like a mermaid.
I got Lady of the Lake vibes.
That's
the thing that I got out of that, because like,
and then he hears
she's also
Dorcas.
a messenger.
Like,
how trustworthy she is a whole other story. But that's certainly there.
Say to him, I forget.
I hold on. Let me go pull up my. Let me grab my book.
But it was like he refused because then he heard Dorcas crying, and then he's like, "No, I can't go with you to under the."
Well, then it's also like, is it a dream? That was the other thing too.
Yeah, because she promised that he could breathe underwater as well, which either could be technology or it could just be a dream, or it could be some kind of mystical power.
Yeah, I'm looking for the exact part of the text, but the other thing too that really kind of stuck out to me in this regard was also just how we haven't even gotten into what the claw does. We haven't even done that.
Yeah.
So Dorcas was recovered over at the Lake of Birds, the last one. Agia tries to get revenge for Aglia.
Being tempted by Undine, a massive water spirit and daughter wife of the monstrous Abia, who offers him watery crown and ability to breathe underwater on the condition that he first let himself drown. Oh, so yeah,
he has to die to be reborn.
Just trust me. Just trust me.
Very siren.
Yeah.
But also, like, there are things about this world that raise so many questions, because later on it's heavily implied that there are aliens that are
Yes.
also living on Earth.
Yeah.
Because towards the end, we get this play about Genesis and eschatology from Dr. Talos, and it's like the last book. Like, all the cast is there playing as the Autarch and the angel Gabriel and the first man and the first woman, and
Yeah.
like also like Nephilim are there because Baldanders is playing as this like large, like demon
Basically
human
Nephilim,
creature
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But also later towards like the end of the play, like Baldanders like goes fucking insane, and it's heavily implied that the things
basically
that
beat
he
the shit out of everybody in the
sees
crowd,
are
yeah.
not human.
Oh yeah, he starts to see demons or aliens in the crowd.
He calls the
he has a
Hyrule
fugue state psychosis, yeah.
well, because they don't have their disguises fall, and their
Yeah.
faces have very distinct non-human features.
Like they live almost. He wears the glasses.
Yeah, like
they live,
the
yeah.
sunglasses came on for Baldanders, and he was just like, I gotta kill all these guys.
It's like, imagine WrestleMania 3, but Andre the Giant thinks that you're like the crowd is filled with aliens. It's like that. He goes and he starts beating the hell out of everybody. And he even like swipes at Severin, but Severin escapes.
Yeah.
So basically we are, from the very beginning of this book, Severin is with Jonas, his Korean cyborg sidekick, and he's given a letter by.
Also, we skip out. We do a time skip.
The
so,
apes. We do the apes.
Yeah, like the book does not start right where we left off. Like we cross the gate at Nessus. We're skipping over quite a bit of the journey. It's just Severian and Jonas. It's not like we have not met up with the rest of the
Talos
crew.
And exactly.
Dr. Talos, Baldanders, Dorcas, and Jolenta are elsewhere. So instead, the beginning is Jonas and Severin enjoying his day job as an executioner.
Yeah. And so they go to town, but then eventually he gets this letter which he thinks is Thekla is alive. Even though she's not, even though she was, she sunsetted and was eaten through this the mystical process by Severin. But it turns out that, of course, it's the previous bitch that was trying to get revenge for condemning her brother. What's her name? The woman he meets, I forget her name.
Aglia,
yeah. And so to do this, he goes to a subterranean tunnel that has the ruins of a previous greater. Like, there's basically, imagine like a hollow in the earth that contains like New York City, like dilapidated skyscrapers made of steel and gold. And he meets, he stumbles upon an army of ape-like humanoids that see in the dark because they have vestigial eyes. And he
gets attacked by the Falmer chat. The Falmer attack him.
Yeah, he basically has to destroy these 8 people, like kind of like the Wendell in 13th Warrior. But then he takes out the claw, and he's like about to be done for. He takes out the claw of the Conciliator medallion or whatever, and it glows a bright neon hue, and basically he becomes their master. And so crisis averted, and then a
bit of a Deus Ex Machina, kind of like we have the MacGuffin, but I also have to appreciate the fact that it's Azure that he uses as the description, which I quite like. It's cyan blue.
Yeah,
big fan of that. It's nice to see that word get used before Microsoft has taken and has totally ruined the search engine optimization for that word. So he goes in alone. Jonas is there outside the cave.
He could have used some backup.
He gets a nice golden mace, which I thought was really nice. Like there's some D&D elements for me. I was like,
there's just random gold in the subterranean.
Here's this random side quest encounter. Here's your golden mace and some coin. Also, there's some really great world building at the beginning of the book, because like Severian gets to witness all of this ritualized violence for an execution. Like he kills a guy named Barnock, who is considered an agent of Vodalus, which is how we interact with Vodalus later, because turns out he is an agent.
He's got a moral conundrum. He's like, I have to sacrifice you to make it convincing, you know?
He's like, I gotta kill you, but like, I don't really see anything wrong with you.
Expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. You know,
but like, you know,
he's gonna kill a soldier of Vodalus to like maintain kayfabe. Yeah,
but the description of it, like, because it's a huge ceremonial ordeal. Like, you know, in the United States, I'm sure in Canada too, but like, you know, in the U.S., like public executions was like a town square affair where everyone went to go watch the guy get the short drop and the hard stop, right? You know, to watch them get hanged.
Yeah, basically every town that finds out he's an executioner, like, oh, we have a few people that you.
Yeah, it's like, hey, dude, like for I'll pay you $500
for a tiny sum.
For a tiny sum and a way to make your living. Oh, great torturer, you know.
Yeah.
We will make sure that, you know, we got some trash for you to take out, but like Barnock's one was really interesting because it's like we emptied his house of food, water, and any tools that he could use to escape, and we lock him in there for a few days. And then we ceremonially drag him out to get executed.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is like kind of like a really hardcore. Like there's a town fair. This is where he sees Akia and the crowd and goes looking for her. And then what was really interesting is that while he's there, the guy is like, hey, dude, you want to see this freak I've got tied up in the tent in my basement? And well, it's on his basement, but like, you want to see, hey, fella, you want to go see this like weird shit I got hooked up? And it's like, it's a man who has got green skin, which he says is it's a symbiotic algae that allows him to live in the current environment he is in.
It's probably an alien.
Well, he doesn't. No. He doesn't claim that he's an alien. He claims that he's from the future.
Oh yeah, but it probably is an alien though.
Well, I mean, it could just be a transhumanist way to live in the future of a new sun.
Those Greys, they're monkeys. They may have come from a previous high technology civilization, but they were born in cages. They don't know anything about that.
They don't know anything about the Finno-Korean hyperwar.
They're just genetically.
They don't know anything about their Lemurian ancestry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're born in cages. They're basically just monkeys. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, that's the whole thing about like at the House Absolute was all those people that have never left the house, and they're just like, well, we're descendants of this like Kim Lee Sung, and it's just like, but it's all one word for them, and it's not like a 3-part Korean name. But like, so anyways, he encounters this, you know, this green alien who's held as like a sideshow freak thing, and Severian gives him
what
a
else
part
are you gonna do with aliens? You're gonna start eating
them
or making them into freaks?
He's like what's the it's been totally ruined because of the current Muslim mayor of New York, but Zora, what's the thing I'm thinking of?
Zora Mandani?
Yeah, but no, I'm thinking about fortune tellers. Was it also called the Zora? No, Zoltar.
Zoltar, yeah, the
Zoltar.
Machine.
So he's basically a Zoltar, where it's just like, I'm from the future and I'm here to give you a prophecy about your life. To which Severian gets parts of it, and then he's just like, I don't have time for this shit. Here's part of my whetstone.
This is a parlor trick. Fuck off.
Yeah, basically, he's just like, I'm done. And then he kills an innocent woman.
Yeah, I forget why.
Pretty wild. So he kills a woman named what was it, like Morwenna or something like that. She's like, I'm innocent, I didn't kill my family. Very timely considering all the stuff that we've been seeing on the timeline today. And turns out actually she was innocent, because like
she's like the Ashley Clancy of her day.
Like the roses were poisonous. So like Morwenna dies with dignity. Maybe she did actually. Maybe she did do it. Maybe she did know. But it's kind of heavily implied that Morwenna may or may not have been innocent. And then of course there's the conversation about like my feelings. Like we finally get to understand sort of the morality of or I guess like the trauma of like being an executioner of this age is like, the pay is good. I'm just doing a job. I consider myself proud of my craft, but like there is the emotional after effect. Yeah. And one of them is called crowd melancholy, where like the bloodlust kind of riles you up so much that you're a little concerned about your ability to perform.
It's post-nut clarity, basically. You realize what you're doing. Yeah.
post execution clarity about, I just killed a guy.
You know, sex and death are pretty, like, that's what Vietnam veterans always said, like, in those interviews. Like, it basically is kind of like sex in a weird, disgusting way. But it's true, though. Like, sex and death do have a very powerful co-relationship with each other for obvious reasons.
Yeah, Eros and Thanatos.
Yeah.
Thanks, Freud.
Yeah.
I know he's not the first one to talk about it, but he is the one that really popularizes it.
Yeah. No, but there's something to it, though. There's still that post-nut clarity of, like, executing somebody.
Well, yeah, because Jonas starts asking him questions about just, like, because he's basically taking care of Jonas because he's the one who's getting paid.
Yeah.
And the conversation sort of breaks down about it.
Jonas is like his manservant, basically.
Yeah, he's his right-hand man. He's his second of sorts, and he's taking care of, like, all the sort of issues here. But yeah, he sees Agia. He gets a note slipped under the door claiming to be from Thekla. Meet me here. And I have a treasure for you in the mine. And then of course that's when we get to finally see what the claw can do. But it doesn't work for everybody. It only comes out at certain points in time. Because it also has healing abilities.
But that doesn't work sometimes.
But it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work all the time.
It's very fernickety as a supernatural power.
Yeah.
So then they go and what is that, like a raven or some kind of like demon bird that attacks them in the forest?
There is it was I guess described as bird-like or bat-like.
They're with soldiers from Vodalis, if I recall.
Yeah, like they're under attack from these bandits. What is it, like an Ulan or whatever?
Highwaymen, yeah.
Yeah. So they were called Noctuals. That's what it says. What page is that on?
They're like birdmen.
They're like forgive me for saying this. I'm reminded of Dementors. It's just this life-sucking creature that just destroys your will to live, but also eats at the physical energy of your existence.
They're kind of like Jinn in that way. Like Jinns do that.
But like, but they're also, they are winged creatures.
Yeah.
So I guess like the little demons that fly around in like the Dark Souls games, the ones that carry you around. I guess that's what I would describe them as.
They basically suck your vril out of you. Yeah.
They're heat-seeking missiles that will suck your vril, and not in a good way. But yeah, so we get to also see that the claw has resurrectional power. Doesn't work all the time, but I guess it works on those that are worthy or those that had been, maybe didn't deserve to die right there. I don't know, like the way that he holds it and the way that, like, in my brain, I'm thinking about like all that Catholic art about like the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
Yes, it's basically
like,
graced,
like yeah, it's like, oh, here's this piece of me, or of this, like, because the Conciliator again, because you have this ultra, you have one out of this pantheon of gods and deities that people all worship. There is like the top dog, which is the Pancreator, which is a total reference to like the Pantocrator, which is a title used with Christ. And also we have the Conciliator, or the Conciliator, or however you want to pronounce it, which is the conciliator between like the transcendent and man.
Yes.
So again, like a very healing and Christ-like.
The claw is essentially a hierophany, like it's a gateway into the spiritual world in the material world. Yeah. It's like, I think this is why Landshark really likes Gene Wolfe, because in a way, Gene Wolfe has perfected through literature an almost like Christo-pagan synthesis in this world in the future. If that makes sense.
Because like there's obviously a cross being born here with Terminus Est. Like that still is there. Yeah. Like he's literally carrying his cross around him, but it's also
when Christ said, "I bring you a sword." That's basically what Terminus.
Yeah, Christ bring like but also like the word of God is like a two-edged sword. Yeah, that will cut the wicked and the impious, and it's just like like he's also an executioner. He's not the judge; he's just the executioner in this instance. But also he does execute said judgments, which of course are human judgments in this instance. But he is like, that's why I keep referring to like the Germanic warrior Heliand kind of Christ, because that seems to be really the figure that I'm getting out of here. but also it's like he's in this instance, it's a very human Christ. It's very Aryan almost, because it's just like he's allegedly a god, you know, like there's some weird implications that like
it's hard to tell if
at the end of this book, because it does kind of cut off real fast, because it's like I'm talking to this witch, but I'm also like there's another copy of her fighting with this like deity, but it's heavily implied that this is also at a different point in time where we're also conversing.
That's the Axis Mundi time warp of like as beloved above so below. There's a double articulation of this witch in the last scene,
which I am simultaneously a man, but I'm also going to experience some kind of apotheosis later. Like it's heavily implied that like
that's Severin, like
there's a deification that's going to take place at some point in time.
And you can never tell, because Severin does come off as very almost like an Augustinian figure. Like he has a lot of flaws, but he does have like a sense of divinity in him. But you can never tell because the way he talks and the way he speaks, he's very non-emotional. But then emotion does come out. Like he's very like to the point and blunt, and he doesn't like really go out of his way to insult people the way that like other like you know, like zany millennial writing is always like,
I'm that a good just guy, happened.
I'm a good guy, but I'm gonna insult you, and I'm like meta. There's no meta in Severin. But the one thing you can speculate on is if Severin is secretly like a mark for himself, like he's self-aggrandizing and through his writing in the future. But that's like a speculation point. So they go through these towns, they execute people, they get money for it. And then he meets Vodalis again. He tells Vodalis in the Imperial Garden that he has the claw, and of course, like they're eating lunch, and you know, all of a sudden Vodalis gets very quiet, and Severin's like, "Oh, you want me to give it to you?" And he's like, "Oh, no, don't worry, we'll discuss it later." And I think, you know, Vodalis knows the power of the claw, but I think he knows that something about Severin's very special, and he doesn't want to like disrupt it, because in a way, like at this point, Vodalis is still the main character in the background, or at least the way that Severin thinks. But Severin really does become like he is the main protagonist. So then they go to the House Absolute. I forget how they get imprisoned though at the House Absolute. I forget what happened.
Well, because Vodalis tells him to send a message because he consumes.
So imprison flesh. Yourself. Yeah.
He consumes Thecla's flesh. And then he swears loyalty to Vodalis because, like, again, what kind of saves his ass from the getting attacked is like he calls out Vodalis and his men. He's just like, but if you don't remember, way back when in the catacombs and in the necropolis and in the Torturer's Guild, I'm the one that saved you. I spared your life. I rescued you. And he's like, oh, has it been that long? You know, like, so again, like we don't know how old either of those characters are, but like it's been some years at that point in time.
It's implied that like Severin's almost like 25, 30 here. Something like that.
There's no I don't know how old Vodalis is, because again, like Severin is implied to be like late teens, early 20s. So anyways, they get there while they're heading off to House Absolute. They're captured and they are imprisoned in a vast antechamber where all sorts of people, they call them petitioners, which I think is funny because they're all just prisoners. Like they're not going anywhere. This is where we get to learn
They've been there for multiple generations.
Yeah. Like all these prisoners, they all just get busy, you know, like as human nature tells us, we're just going to have sex and we're just going to reproduce, and countless generations have never seen outside. And then this is where, we learn more about Jonas, because it's him and Jonas just sort of like in the dark room trying to make sense of everything. And there's some lights later on, and this is where we get one of my favorite parts of the entire book, which is Severin reads a story from his brown book, which is the tale of the student and his son, which is just straight up Greek mythology, but also history at the same time. Because like there's a point where Severin is like, I'm pretty sure Jonas was there when this happened, and the way that Jonas talks about it is just because like the narrator and / Severin notes that like these are the last words I hear from Jonas, and like he makes a reference about how the shame he would have endured or whatever he would have faced had he had gone back to Athens empty-handed. And it's just like, well, how do you know about that, buddy? Like, are we referencing the story here? Or is this something that you may have experienced?
Yeah.
And also, it's just a really good. I can't give enough props to Gene Wolfe. And again, this is my first read through. I read it last week in preparation for this, and then I listened to the entire audiobook while I was at work today to make sure that like I was fresh. And so listening to it be narrated to me, this was like one of the old like the tape cassette recordings of the audiobook, which someone had done some touch-ups on YouTube, which I posted on my Telegram chat earlier so people could listen in or do whatever. It's really to give props to how good the writing is. When I was listening to it on the audiobook form, it felt like I was sitting at a campfire and this story was being told to me, like someone was reading like a Greek play or like an Aesop's fable.
It's about a young man that there's a sacrifice of red-headed women going on a ship, but it turns out that the whole island is this like demonic figure or this like island-sized creature that demands a sacrifice. You explain it, Prue. What's the short story?
So we have a magician. We have an apprentice magician who lives in a city of pale white towers, and he basically
have to like be something. By the way, by the time you're a teenager,
yeah, right. And so he's a young man, and
he's like, I'm a chudjak. I want to I want to read philosophy. Was that philosophy? He's like, I want to read philosophy. Like, it's Go ahead.
This is very much based. There's the Theseus and the Minotaur is very present, and like the word thesis is in the text, which I on the audio version I didn't catch it, but I knew it when I was reading the text because I saw thesis and I was like, like that. I gave me a dry chuckle. I quite enjoyed it. So anyways, within we have the student who seems to be this like master because he has created life out of his magic, out of his dreams. And so he's kind of, in his brain, he's chiseled away a sun into existence. And this is the ideal, perfect, wonder kid child.
Almost like Pygmalion, except sexuality.
It's Pygmalion, except it's male. It's not sexual. It's I want a son, almost Geppetto-like in that sense. And,
it's like Geppetto. Yeah, like Geppetto. Yeah.
And so, but at the time, like you mentioned, there is a giant sea monster who has been capturing fair red-headed maidens for the purposes of again in reference to the Minotaur. He is there to defile the maidens. And this is a problem. And to eat them, to defile and eat them. So it's got everything. It's got a little bit of kidnapping. It's got a little bit of vor. There you go, chat. Have fun clipping that one.
And Lucian maiden sacrifice.
We've got sacrifices of maidens. You've got kidnapping. You've got NTR. It's got all sorts of things. Anyways, the son has decided to say, I'm here to take care of this problem. I'm going to get my ships. I'm going to fight the sea monster. And if I come back without, victory or without rescuing anyone, it's over for me. Like
but then he meets the daughter of the sea monster as well.
Yeah. So he meets the daughter of the sea monster, and he, and again, a son created by pure thought. And so,
my groiper. I'm creating my own groiper.
You create your own groiper. You can just create
me and my chud son killing
don't talk to me and my son ever again. And so like there's a lot here that is so the magicians study all things. All magic known in the city, which was most of the magic known in the world. So it's not just it's like very pantheistic. There's not one specific aspect of magic.
It's a very cosmopolitan city in the short story.
Yeah.
But they have maiden sacrifice, which like basically like the whole thing is sustained by sacrificing to the sea monster for whatever reason.
Yeah, so like you have
my little black groiper.
my little
Death
groiper.
Jude. My little black groiper.
Oh no.
My way, way sweet. Yeah, my little black groiper. Yeah, that's
Yikes.
great. That's great. You'll never have things I never had. You know.
One of the things that I really enjoyed, again, because like when this is narrated to you, like I basically you turn into Jonas with the audiobook and you're listening to Severian read to you. Oh, what was it? Let me go pull out my book again. How may I, who even I who know nothing, have a place among the wise of the city? For I wish to study spells that are not sacred all my days, and not go into the friendless world to dig and carry for bread.
Whoa!
You know, he's a sensitive young man. You know,
sensitive
like
young. Yeah,
I just want to pursue my hobby.
He's neat maxing. He's a chud. It's he gets the girl in the end. It's incredible. Yeah.
But I mean, anyway, so like there's
he sires an army to defeat a sea monster. He literally avenges his father and slays the sea dragon.
Yeah, but I mean, like, again, like there's so much he's pulling from, because like there is how time goes on in the story. It feels very like there like a Greco-Roman calendar is obviously being used.
Yeah.
And so as we carry on, we have, what is it, like a great green serpent that we're also dealing with here, and also like this sort of evil character is he's a mix of Satan, but also a mix of just like generic bad guy on here. But also like the Corn Maidens, that's who they were. That's what the ladies were called.
And they dressed in green shawls, and they're all redheaded.
No, I thought they were blonde. Like,
I thought they were.
Or redheaded. Was it just the green shawls?
I thought they were all redheaded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I distinctly remember them being redheaded. Yeah. So, anyways, he meets the daughter of the sea monster, but she's like a humanoid. And he's like, I can't be friends with you because you're old man. You know, I can't be friends with you. But then she's like, oh, don't worry about it. I hate him too. Like, I have daddy
I'm gonna help
issues.
you destroy him.
Yeah. That's the ultimate Goonet fantasy. But
also, like, there's so many references to Satan.
Yes. Yeah.
Which, oh man.
Well, even like for example, in Dante's Inferno, you know, the last stage of hell with Satan is incredibly cold, and it's like a frozen lake, right? And of course, like satanic imagery has always been equated with serpents, and which, I mean, comes from, I think, like a Christianized version of, at least in some regards, like the Ouroboros, like the snake eating itself and the sea serpent. So there's always been like the banding about of mythical imagery, right? And I guess, what's the name of the guy in the short story? Is there a name?
They're the only one. The name I remember the most is Noctua. Yeah, the daughter of the night, the daughter of him to whom you have come to slay. For though he did not know why, being the stuff of dreams, he was drawn to her, and she, who eyes held starlight to him, as the princess then took pity on him. For all who have the stuff of dreams about them seem fair in some degree, at least to the daughters of the night, and he the fairest of all. He is pure. And again, also some fun references to some other occult stuff as well.
Yeah, well, that's a
he's just known as the commander. He's the commanding. He's the commander. Yeah. He's the son.
But that's another great passage, because I think the sea monster's daughter knows that in a way he is like a tulpa. He is like a pure thought form. He's as a man, right? So again, there's that idea of he is both man, he is both divine, right? And I forget what advice she gives to him about how to slay her father.
She's about like, how to take a different position.
Yeah, he's like, here, go to this place. It's his weak spot.
Also, there's a huge ironclad reference in here as well. Monitor, Minotaur. Like there was a heavy implication to me. I'm like, this is very I'm like, am I reading that correctly?
Yeah.
um
Like his crew gets annihilated, if I recall.
so not all of them, because
Not
they
all
kind
of
of have
them,
an
yeah.
orgy after
Oh, with the maidens?
after the victory.
That's yeah. That's like, you got to reward the heroes with an orgy.
Well, yeah, you can't forget your winner. You can't forget
Yeah,
your
come on.
victory.
Yeah. But also, like, the whole short story is about it is a meta. So I think eventually the captain, the sense of a young man, he slays the dragon, the sea monster, and they have the orgy, and the town is changed. But it's sort of like an implication of, again, very Christ-like imagery of the end, like, and sort of like the new covenant, the fulfillment of the covenant, that there is an end to sacrifice. That is a huge metaphor there, right? Um,
Yeah.
that and so that is also a hearkening back to how Severin himself will also be, as a executioner and torturer. Ironically enough, he is the one to end that chain of sacrifice from the ancient world. And so the Christian themes are replete. So someone mentioned, who was it?
For no
TB?
man lives long when their dreams are dead. Because like also after the victory, the son is incredibly angry. Because like there's obvious Paschal imagery. Like
Yeah.
he goes into his quarters for 3 days. He does not come out until the third day. But also at the same time, we have like they have smokestacks of their ship, the black sails, which is why I got. But anyways, like he's emerged from this beast, this monster, again, Jonah-like, Christ-like, but at the same time, he's destroyed this thing, and now he's accomplished his goal.
Yeah.
And the dream is over. And he, being a pure dream and having destroyed said dream, kills himself.
It's the ultimate, it's the ultimate Thanatoic wish.
Because the ogre is gone, everything that has been destroyed, the hooded ones needed it. And of course, like, great beasts are not only a part of the story, but they're also a part of the world of Earth. Because you have Abia and Erebus, and even Severian makes the reference that like the ogre in the story reminds him of Abaya or Abia, or however you want to pronounce it.
Abaya is almost like that dark figure in Zoroastrianism. Was it Ahura Mazda or the other one? I forget.
I'm not that familiar with Zoroastrianism.
God.
But again, Abia or Abaya, like that's ripped straight from like Pacific Islander.
Angramayu.
There you
go. Yeah, Angramainu. Yeah, Ahura Mazda is the opposite. He's like,
so it's an eel, like, water creature, at least according to like Melanesian mythology that you would see in like Fiji or the Solomon Islands.
Yeah.
That I did look up, but like, I was just like, this is incredible. Like, again, what he's pulling from to synthesize all of this into a world in which I've got to pay really close attention to, where it's just like the son whose hero's journey was never to be a success, because to be a pure dream means to destroy the other systems of the world that are meant to be perfect, or what people perceive to be perfect. And he takes his own life. And this is so good. I'm gonna have to go reread this entire chapter again just to appreciate it more.
In a way, it's the ultimate curse to actually have your dreams fulfilled in a weird way. Because your purpose is done. If your dreams are fulfilled, it's over for you. You're past the hump,
Yeah.
In a way, it's like a worse humiliation to have your dreams, all of your dreams, fulfilled at once. That's like the ultimate humiliation upon yourself.
Because like the ogre is described as the Civil War ship.
Yes.
Because like you have the obvious Theseus reference, but then also like you have the Monitor like being described, which I guess you're playing off the Minotaur. Because again, like, the world is, I don't know if I'm in the far distant past and the far distant future, because it's just like I'm getting Gnostic creation, like Gnostic Christian creation mythology being played out, but also I'm getting like the USS Monitor and the battle, against who did the Monitor fight? The Ironclads. But it's also being mixed in with the ship of Theseus. And then there's so many references, of course, to Pascha, but also, the young man is also like an antichrist. And so he's just an illusion. Because he's not perfect. He's not good. He is angry. He has done this great battle, and turns out like
he's not the authentic thing. He's a pantomime of the good.
Yeah, like actually you've ruined the system that was being held here. So what am I to do?
Which in itself is kind of very Gnostic in a way.
I mean, it's certainly,
if you read John Lamb Lash,
there is the mirror image.
Yeah. It's funny. John Lamb Lash, he's got a completely different take on Gnosticism than what people colloquially refer to as Gnosticism. It's very interesting stuff. I mean, he is against Christianity and all that, but like, very, very interesting. But yeah, for argument's sake, like the colloquial term Gnosticism.
Well, I find like the Manichaean stuff really interesting, but like I also know that they're not Christians, but like that stuff is pretty fascinating to read.
We could probably get. No, he's kind of too an optical, John Lamb Lash.
Yeah, let's not.
Oh, you know about him then?
I'm familiar enough.
Yeah. You know what I mean by being an optical.
Yeah. So let's not.
All right. No. So another important thing that you have to know for all of the Book of the New Sun series that TB
we say out, even though we're not experts, we're just we're just reacting blindly. This is our take.
Yeah, but this is so TB writes there is a Pancreator, the Increate, and the Conciliator, which is almost like kind of like Orthodox Christianity in a way. So the Pancreator, that is of course the God of the universe, supreme God, the God of light, the creator of the universe.
Yeah, again, totally cribbing from like Pantocrator.
Yeah, Pantocrator. Yeah, the Increate is the uncreated, eternal, self-eternal aspect of God. So in a way, it's kind of like the preternatural light and Orthodox iconography, or like the essence and energy distinction. Which
I was about to say this is far more
Orthodox than Catholic. Yeah,
just a little bit.
There's grace though. There's, I think like Orthodoxy has a version of grace, but it's not like Catholicism.
It's a little different than you guys, but yes.
Yeah, basically, yeah. We are brothers. We are brothers. And then that's gonna piss off a lot of people. Like the Conciliator, then, of course, is the legendary Christ-like historical figure. It is like the greatest of good men, which Severin, again, despite all of his flaws, despite him being very RP and all that, and being an executioner, he is the greatest of all men. He's even greater than Volodus, right? So he is. I mean, again, we don't know if he's just telling tall tales about himself, but in the book, he is basically. You can sense that he's the guy. Right, he is the final man of history on Earth with a U, Earth. So again, this is a very pagano-gnostico-Christian reading of the future and sci-fi, and Gene Wolfe has really created, I think, one of the magnum opuses of all sci-fi ever. And all of you other people with your inferior world-building slop will never be able to hold a candle to Gene Wolfe. You're all I was gonna say something. I'm gonna say a word that starts with an F. I can't say it on YouTube, but all you people that have the same schlock, all of like your Star Trek communism, it's over for you. It's over. And so it's so keep in mind that this tripartite, or you could say this Trinitine theology, is what sustains the whole universe of the New Sun, essentially.
But also we get after the story ends and they're stuck in this antechamber. Thekla's,
so now we go to the antechamber where they're like,
well, we've been in it, and they break out of it because Thekla's memories come in handy.
She was there. Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
there.
so like she's been in the house absolute. Like she has some kind of aristocratic upbringing.
Yes.
And so
and also her sister is the main consort / wifey of Volodus. Yeah.
So the pelagic argosy sites land.
Yeah.
which it's just missing a Z, and I think you've basically got, like the lovely, like, text code that has all 26 letters of the alphabet. But anyway, so I had to look these words up because I was just not familiar with them. So it's a large merchant ship sights land after being on the ocean.
Yeah. The ocean is
anyway,
space, by the way.
Yeah, it certainly seems to imply that, like, they're the it's about space, or at the very least, like, again, like Jonas, like a lot of the questions Severian asks is about like his journeys and his travels, and like, because again, like Severian has no context of the outside world whatsoever. And so everything that he experiences with like these rituals, these cults, these people, these practices and traditions are all entirely predicated on like, this is a firsthand account. Like he's never experienced this before.
Yeah, it's more mythology than actual history in this world.
But also because he has only grown up with the Torturers Guild, like he's relying on Jonas's like lived experience as a quote unquote fisherman to be the guy to tell him everything, the fisherman with a metal hand. Only for us later to find out that like he is not, he doesn't have a prosthetic. He is just a complete.
Imagine a cyberpunk Korean cyborg fisherman in space. That's basically what Jonas is.
And then when the ship landed, like, there was someone else to take care of. And, that's what we kind of built our life off of.
But why did the Autarch, like, there's multiple generations that have lived in this prison, but why is the Autarch imprisoned all of these people forever?
I don't know. Because, like, they're called petitioners. So I'm just presuming that, like, if you have business with the Autarch, like, you're just not leaving. Like,
it's basically like, and even the House Absolute is like a maze that goes on forever. It's very much like a Borges novel.
Yeah,
sorry, Borges novel. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Borges is definitely referenced throughout here.
So it's sort of like, okay, what having a thing with the Autarch is? It's like, okay, do you remember the Ronald Reagan Soviet Union jokes? Where it's like, oh, by the way, when is my Trabant going to get delivered? 10 years from now. And he's like, well, is it during the day? What day? Like, he's like, during the morning or afternoon? He goes, who cares? It's 10 years. He goes, well, because, the plumber's coming in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Like, if you have business with the Autarch, you're not going to fulfill that business. Your fucking great-great-grandchild is going to fulfill the final mythical business that you have with the Autarch. Yeah, the waiting room that serves pastries and coffee and has a low ceiling. Yeah, like basically yes. Yeah.
But then we have
chambers or waiting room.
Yeah, so we have the waiting room, and then we have all these corridors of mirrors that are linked to Father
Inari,
Inari or Inare.
They're fed table scraps.
By the way, we have no clue who this guy is, or at least not yet.
Apparently they exist off of like table scraps and day olds from the grand feasts. These prisoners.
Oh yeah. But here's the other thing too. House Absolute is totally implied to be a giant fucking hotel.
Yeah.
Because they're being fed pastries and coffee like it's a continental breakfast.
Yeah, I could live off of continental. Well, maybe not. No, I shouldn't.
Like they're just living
off
of
sweet, though,
a sweet treat and some coffee.
Maybe once in a while powdered eggs.
Yeah, maybe once in a while some fake eggs. Who knows? But there's never enough. You only get fed twice a day, and it's the same stuff. I can't imagine that's good for you. I can't
imagine eating like that's your dinner: a bran muffin, some tea, and like some powdered eggs. That's your dinner.
Like a really shitty cinnamon roll.
Yeah,
and some really thick coffee.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Severian hates it because like the coffee's super thick. It's like gelatinous.
And also,
digital
Greek coffee, like it's really thick.
Yeah.
Well, really,
do you know mullet reviews on Instagram?
Mullet reviews,
where he's like, I'm going to like,
Chinese okay. I'm gonna sound like a total fucking. Sorry, chat. I only know about him because of my wife. And it becomes sort of a weird, like after evening prayers, like we'll lay in bed and we'll go see the latest mullet reviews thing that like, he is very entertaining because like this is day 72 of me going to every Chinese buffet
Until I get food
poisoning. One, to make it to 72 to 70 plus days, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Number two, I'm getting really disgusted by all of the photos of him, like, or him reviewing the place, and then he's in the bathroom in his bare feet. I'm just like, I want to go throw.
How is there so many Chinese like Americanized Chinese buffets in the Midwest?
It's Ohio. I feel like that's the ultimate place to have like a China. I don't know how far he drives.
Like he goes to like Ohio, he goes to Kentucky, he goes to
I wouldn't call
Virginia,
Kentucky the Midwest.
Well, like the Kentucky, Ohio,
yeah,
Virginia
but I mean, like
area.
he's everywhere. It seems like he's an older middle-aged millennial man doing unfathomable damage to like his
gut
health.
biome. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if like Mullet Reviews gets colorectal cancer from this ill endeavor. Not that I'm wishing that on him. It's just
the
a
crab
possibility.
Rangoons. I'm gooning now.
I hate the fact that
I'm fucking addicted to those.
I hate the fact that I'm having this moment with you.
Basically imagine living off of 1 star, like 2.5 star Chinese buffet food for your life, and there's not enough food to go around.
I live 5 minutes from like a 2.9 star Chinese buffet, and I'm not gonna lie, that shit is so good. That is
depending on the time of day.
Because like we cook 90% of what we eat. Like 95% of all the meals that my wife and I eat are cooked, just because like going out is expensive. We go out twice a month. Once for our the day, like our month anniversary, when we get like on the day that we got married. No, we go and sit somewhere. We try a new restaurant in the area, and then we go out for Chinese buffet. And those are the 2 times that we eat when we go out. And so like we'll try out a really nice restaurant once a month, and then we'll have like buffet or Chinese, when we go out. And eating Chinese now has been totally ruined by Mullet Reviews, because like one of us will make the crab rangoon reference, and it's just like,
oh yeah, I'm gooning now.
I'm gooning, right? And I'm just like, damn it.
Where's the fucking pizza?
Yeah, like why, and like one of the things that I've noticed,
I live near an exceptionally high quality, the Mandarin. Like I live pretty close.
Because in the United States, like it's weird. Like this is how bad the demographic situation has gotten in America, and why we need to deport like 150 million people. Is that like, the Chinese restaurant is good when like the management is like Asian, but all the cooks are Mexican. Yeah, and it's just like, how the fuck did we get to this point? Like you all have to go now that we have the recipe.
I remember me and my grandparents used to go to this really cheap one called the I think it was called like the Red Star or something like that. But then it like closed down. But now like the only Chinese buffet near in the Niagara region is the fucking Mandarin, and they're like super expensive too. It's great food though, but it's expensive. Like I think because they crowded out all the cheaper Chinese buffets, and so it's sort of like it's a monopoly type of deal.
Has it been replaced with like a lot of Indian restaurants?
I mean, yeah, there's Indian restaurants.
Yeah,
If you go to the Falls and you go to like Lundy's Lane, or even like fucking near Clifton Hill, like the ones, it's like
if you want to get like depressed or like black pilled about like birthright citizenship. Like if you're in Allen, Texas, and you're driving like, let's say you want to go downtown. Like if you're in Allen, Texas, and you're driving down all the way to, let's say, downtown Dallas, like you're going to the theater or whatever, right? Just when you're on that stretch of highway, just look to your right as you're going southbound, and you'll see things like there's like a Polish fusion place next to like an Ethiopian place. There's like a hookah bar. There is there's one, if memory serves, called like Desi Chicas or whatever, or Las Chicas Desi, and I'm just thinking to myself, oh, that's a whole new kind of like parasitic hell that I don't know who the heck eats there. Then there's like a serpentarium, which is for like exotic pets, and there's like the Jewish like funeral
like,
thing. And it's like, what has happened here?
Like a digital flow of gross Polish food. Like if you go to Ohio,
look, man, I'm happy. Like I say what you will about Polish people, I could not tell you how over the fucking moon I was when I went to Chicago and I got my CTA ticket for the Blue Line, and my options were English, Spanish, and Polish. I had never been more nostalgic for like Ellis Island way
No,
of immigration.
that's like Ohio and Pennsylvania. There's like Slavic Italian fusion. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna get great.
But at this point, I'm okay with it. Like if we're gonna do the whole Esau giving up his birthright, like at least give me European food over Mexican Indian fusion. Just at that point, kill me.
I remember one time I was in this like really small town in Pennsylvania, and me and my girlfriend were in this bar, and like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna order like whatever Parmesan, and I'm like, it was actual like, actual gravy, you know what I mean? It was actual homemade red sauce. I'm like, this is mind blowing, and it's like I was like, my girlfriend's like, you know how many Italians moved to Pennsylvania and Ohio? I go, yeah, that's probably why. Like, I mean, of course, like New Jersey's like the fucking spiritual mecca of Italians in America.
New Jersey is the one place where like the Italians and the Irish who got off the boat in the 1920s are still fighting each other.
Yeah.
Every election in New Jersey.
Now the Indians are getting into the mix, though.
Yeah, I know, which is really depressing.
There was like that one video in like Newark where it was like this Italian guy cussing out this Indian fucking convenience store owner.
Because like every election in New Jersey for like the last 50 years has been some kind of like tortellini versus some kind of O'Neill. And it's just I mean, go look at your congressional and like state elections in New Jersey. That's what it is. It's just like the Meds versus the Irish. It's kind of wild to watch. And you're like, oh yeah, so this is why New Jersey's a hellhole. I get it now. I understand.
My fucking sister. You mean Pravati? Janice. Her fucking name is Janice. That was so, like on a like no hint of irony. Carmela's like, you mean Pravati?
Time to go rewatch The Sopranos.
Yeah. Oh, that was such a great. But anyway, so yeah, imagine living off of a continental breakfast. Your ancestors, your great-great-grandchild is going to live off the fucking continental breakfast scraps forever.
So and also we meet the autarch eventually. Like he gets Terminus Est back
in this illusion room where you think
and like the crazy House of Mirrors kind of thing, which also happened to be potentially teleporters.
It's like it's like
portals.
Basically like the Star Trek hologram room.
Yeah. So he meets the autarch. He is drawn into the autarch service, who is this androgynous. Again, there's some more Gnostic imagery for you. This enigmatic leader, androgynous figure that also wants to let you know about higher knowledge, literally, because there are other worlds than which you can be drawn into.
Yeah.
And it's all known as hydromancy as well, which raised some interesting things. And also it implies that the autarchs, he also kind of prophesizes his own death.
Yeah.
He kind of implies that like someone's getting assassinated here. Later on, we go to the gardens, and then this is where we get to reunite with Dorcas, Dr. Talos.
By the way, there's no official map of the House Absolute. This is how vast this place is. He only knows because he meets the bookkeeper.
And he's also kind of relying on Thekla's memory.
Yeah, Thekla's memory and the bookkeeper from the torture house, the adjacent library to the torture spaceship he only knows where,
because of this senile old fuck who's just like, I was once one of those guys in like the space suit and the golden helmet, and I have my picture taken, and I'm an artist, and it's just like,
and do
you know where we even are?
Yeah. He's like, this isn't like the library, this is the House of Absolute, right? And he goes, he like sort of groans. So he only knows where the garden is because of an ancient painting of the garden house where Dr. Talos is going to perform the play.
Yeah.
That's there's no map of this place. There's only like mythological legends and paintings and manuscripts that you could like
that's it.
And they say that that in between the walls of certain segments is an ancient family of dire wolves that got into the creases and just never left for some reason.
And they're just like living off whoever tries to escape.
Yeah, that's like their diet. They're just eating whoever tries to escape the House Absolute.
Just eating your poor little grapers. You're just feeding groypers to the direwolves.
Yeah. So imagine like James Fishback voters just like wandering in the house. Absolutely.
Hey, that's like 10% of Republican voters in Florida. We need those. Those are our strongest soldiers.
The little groypers. Yeah. They get eaten by the fucking wolves.
You're just feeding Fishback voters to the wolves, and James started crying.
People bomb on Fishback, but he got 10% of the vote, man.
He did better than the Libertarian Party. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
If you can get 1 in 10 Republican voters to vote for you, that I think that is some indication that like man. You can meme yourself into something, which is
I know like a lot of take sellers don't like him because he's like a Fuentes guy, but like that's pretty impressive work. He did way better than like Dan Bilzerian, like it's I can't knock him for that. He would have
gotten his ass prolapsed in the general election, but sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
There's some greater electability concerns that we have to have.
I think like if he becomes a bit more serious with age, I think he can be a contender.
It's too late for that. It's too late for that.
Well, you can survive a defeat, no?
You can survive a defeat. You cannot survive biting the hand that would put you on a ballot. Also,
yeah,
this is Florida. And also, now that the campaign is over, the question of
who won, Byron Donalds?
Yeah, Byron Donalds won the primary.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And it's him versus David Jolly, if memory serves correct. I'm not a Florida resident. I wish you guys all the best fucking luck.
Is Ron DeSantis's political career in Florida done or no?
Well, he's termed out. I think he has to take a term break before he can run again.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if he's planning on running for Senate, or if he's planning a run in 2028. I don't think he should run for president, in my personal opinion.
No, it's going to be DeSantis or Rubio. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think DeSantis should run for president. I think that DeSantis should.
No, sorry. I mean, it's going to be Rubio or J.D. Vance.
Yeah, it seems to be that case. Like, I don't know. Like, just like honestly, like I would just put DeSantis on the Supreme Court.
That'd be good. Is he a lawyer?
Yeah, he's a former. I think he's like Ted Cruz, where he's a former JAG officer, if memory serves.
Oh, there you go.
And he is an attorney. Like, but also I feel like
they're all attorneys, man. Almost
they're all
lawyers,
but like,
yeah,
at that point, just like put him on the court where he's just going to be a rubber stamp.
Yeah.
Like it was funny, like the day he dropped out of the race, like he was calling like someone, like some Democrat said something retarded, and like he was just like he got on it, like he was in like on a bus somewhere, and like he just did a little selfie video saying like, hey, this like black Democrat said something like so legally stupid, I decided to like just pop up my phone and tell you why he's a retard. And it's just like, where was this guy when you were running for office?
Yeah,
that guy was cool. That would have certainly been nice.
Whatever happened? Why did whatever happened to Jeb Bush? Is he just too old, or you got destroyed by Trump?
Jeb's politically irrelevant.
Yeah,
I don't know what Jeb is doing these days. I imagine he's working as a consultant and or working. I don't know, like
he's probably raking in some money, like his brother.
I'm sure that he is. It's not like he isn't. He's not like he's poor. But overall, just to sort of kind of wrap up here, because we're 2.5 hours in.
Does he still live in Florida or no?
I have no clue, and I don't want to know. I don't think about Jeb Bush. I don't think
I
Jeb
feel
Bush
bad for him.
And the way I just don't think about Jeb Bush.
You know who? Okay, Jeb Bush is going to make a political comeback, and you know who's going to be his strongest supporter?
His short,
Richard Spencer,
5'1" Mexican wife.
I was going to say Richard Spencer.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Well, he met the Bushes, so.
There is photos of him, yeah.
With Laura Bush, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. He's going to be the Apollonian candidate, Jeb Bush.
He is the Apollonian man. The demand.
Oh.
The demand. Of a clap
so good.
At the end of a Spock. That is a Faustian man.
Oh,
I need to stop. That's gonna get me in trouble.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
I don't know. the WLP SpongeBob cover reading lives rent free in my brain. And for those who know what I'm talking about, for those of you who don't, I'm not. You can go look that up later. It's just it lives rent free in my fucking head. And it's really funny. Because even the guy doing the voiceover loses his character, loses his composure. It's really entertaining.
About Pearl, the daughter.
Yeah, I can't. Of the crustacean power structure.
Whatever happened to Pearl and SpongeBob? Is she
I don't know. I have never seen a full episode of SpongeBob. My entire knowledge of that show and that world exists entirely through cultural osmosis.
Whoa!
So I have no
still
clue.
Going, I think. It's still, even though the creator died, it's still going.
No clue. I have no idea. No clue. I think that they should have just ended it with the SpongeBob movie, just like they should have ended The Simpsons with the Simpsons movie.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I used to hate SpongeBob, but then when I got older, I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. I like SpongeBob.
My old roommate would quote it all the fucking time, and I'm just like, I have no reference, man. He's like, this is so funny, and I'm like, I don't get it. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
I'm retarded. I can't help you with that.
So now we get to the play of Dr. Talos. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just So it's creation and what's it called?
Creation eschaton or
creation and eschatology and Genesis, I guess. Like that's really what this is. Because like we have the creation of man, we have the fall of man, judgment, renewal, the new sun. Which also the description about how the sun is dying, and it talks about like a monster that pulls all things, in which things can't escape, and it's black as night. I'm like, oh, we're just getting a really cool black hole imagery.
Yeah.
But also like there's Gabriel, there's references to the Nephilim, there's a very there's a lot of references in here that made me just like kind of like giddy, that like, oh, I understood that reference. The
cosmic sound of the trumpet of Gabriel as well. Yeah,
the cosmic sound of the trumpet of Gabriel. But then like when you ask people about creation, the reference that people would make would be the hexameron, or the Hexameron, which is, if memory serves, it is St. Basil's the Great's commentary on the 6 days of creation in Genesis.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which I was like, because
Gene Wolfe just puts everything in here.
Well, because like, I in my free time right now, I've been reading Genesis, Creation, and Early Man by Saint Seraphim Rose, and that was referenced, and I own a collection of Saint Basil from like a Turner Press, which I think is like a Catholic publisher, which has a huge collection of St. Basil's work and his letters, and that's in there. And I'm like, ooh, I got to get into reading that later because I've been really interested. Because I've been reading through the Old Testament lately, and so it was just like, oh, I felt like Captain America. I was like, I understood that reference. I was like, oh, Gene, thank you for.
This literally could also be like a top tier anime as well. You could make this an anime.
This would be a great anime, but also because like, but also like I don't want it to be an anime either. Like I don't want this to be put to film. In the same way that like
you can't really put this to
film. I mean you could put this to film. You could I think it would be animated, but like you could put this to film. The reason why I don't want it to be put to film in the same way is like it's very hard when I read Lord of the Rings, because now I think about the movies. Like my brain just has the innate association. It's like, oh, like this is like Viggo Mortensen is speaking right now, like and so it's difficult to separate the existing film, because like all Lord of the Rings artwork nowadays is heavily inspired by the Peter Jackson films.
Yes.
Or like Ralph Bakshi. And it's just like, that's fine, right? But like those are the two people that really put like this world of Middle Earth onto film for the people to feast their eyes on, which is great. I don't have a problem with it. The movies are wonderful. But also like any pre-Peter Jackson artwork of the Lord of the Rings goes so hard in a way that post-Peter Jackson films don't, because there's no film to like use as sort of your foundational baseline. And so like the cover art for the original run of these books is just really out there. Like I love the mask that Severian wears as an executioner. Like it's really fucking cool. And it's just like, I don't want that mask to come off. And I know the mask comes off in a lot of parts of it.
Mask almost. Yeah.
And so it's just like, oh, like I don't, like you don't want to. Thank God Severian's young. Otherwise, some bastard would try and put Pedro Pascal in this movie.
That's crazy that like Ralph Bakshi did the Lord of the Rings, and he also did Fritz the Cat.
Well, he did the Hobbit, is what he did.
And he did the Hobbit as well. Yeah. Yeah.
I do like the Fritz the Cat thing because it's just like Satan's gay. That's incredibly entertaining.
Yeah. That's such a wild film too, like, but Crumb fucking hated it. It's just He killed it off, killing him off.
Mm.
Oh, but anyway, so the play is basically a mythological retelling of the whole like backstory
Of the history of
mythology.
salvation, kind of.
Yes, yeah, yeah, and then Boldener, he goes crazy. He thinks there's aliens. Like
And it's heavily implied
he's
that they
fighting the
are.
reptilians. Yeah, he's fighting the reptilians in the crowd. Oh yeah, go ahead, Prude. What were you gonna say?
No, yeah, no. Like it's heavily implied that like Baldander sees something that is not human.
Actual reptilianoids. Yeah,
The hierodules.
yeah,
Like because he's been like calm and like collected in the entire play. Like he does his lines. He is this giant creature, and then later on, it seems that like Dr. Talos is not the master over Baldanders. It's actually the other way around.
it's implied that Baldanders is his like his like father, and that's kind of lame and dumb, and Talos is like his like autistic magic son. Like it's
there's some
weird
significant implications that like Baldanders has got more power in that relationship than lets on. But also the performance, you know, when you're reading it, like it reads like a stage play. But also it stops doing the stage play stuff kind of like halfway through, and then it's like kind of bleeding into.
It breaks the kayfabe. It breaks the fourth wall.
It becomes the fourth wall.
It becomes a shoot. Yeah.
And then what breaks you out of the entire play is Baldander's just going apeshit. He literally chimps out because as he screams and chimps out, a lot of the masks from the audience just reveal non-human features.
Yeah.
They're clearly not human. That doesn't mean that they might be a different kind of human, because we obviously have 8 men as well. They could be some far off thing, but also like
they could be some xenomorph or whatever.
But also House Absolute has literal portals to other universes or worlds. So
yeah,
odds are there's some fucking aliens here.
So they got the A train from Zeta Reticuli to just watch this play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Boldner goes crazy. He starts.
See, this is why, like, if aliens are real, like, can you just imagine like them having to deal with like the leaders of this world? It's just like, all right, like we like George W. Bush is like, I understand that there's like some intergalactic business going on, but watch this drive, you know. Like, I just want someone from like, you know, the Aerodonus system to be like, this is who we have to fucking deal with. Are you kidding me?
That's like that myth that Dwight Eisenhower met with aliens.
Yeah, why not? You know.
Yeah, there was one.
They're like, oh, you weren't the people we were talking to 5 minutes ago. It's because it's like the Heart of Darkness games, where like the aliens contact Bill Clinton about this. It's like drowned great gods evil, as well. And it's just like, wait a second, you know, the last time we talked to you people, we were talking to these German fellas.
Yeah, they just kept coming. Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, what happened? I thought it was Germany."
So, but anyways, I'm gonna try and wrap things up
quickly. We're gonna send Thomas 77 to meet with the aliens as a representative.
Oh, that'd be wild. Alien Peckerwoods. So carrying on, the play comes to a very abrupt end. Obviously, our lovely troupe of sorts. They part ways. They leave the House Absolute. Talos and Baldanders are basically like, hey, we're going to Lake Diaturna, and Severian and Dorcas are then left with Jolenta, and who is not
because they start beating up Jolenta. They're like, get out of here.
He's just like, well, we don't need to do the play anymore. We got paid ahead of time before all the shit happened and hit the fan. We're gonna do something else. I don't need her anymore. Beat it, Toots. You're no longer a star. You aged up. You're washed out. It's over. And oh, by the way, I'm not paying for that Botox no more. And then so basically,
very much is like a porn star type of deal.
Yeah, you know, like she turned 23 and now she's in like the MILF section, and it's over. But anyways, so like she never won any of the adult video awards, so like they're throwing her to the curb, and turns out she's dying. She is legitimately sick. She has a hard time walking, and of course, Severian
carrier.
Well, he has to also go to Thrax. Like this is the whole point of like his journey and his travels was to go to Thrax. So they're going north. Jolenta continues to get uglier and uglier. The beauty that Severian once saw and took advantage of is no longer present. Her artificial enhancements seem to fail. They get some advice from the locals and then eventually she's also attacked by a blood bat, which also doesn't help. And she's getting worse and worse. And then I guess we get some interesting stuff with relation to the sea powers. More references to Abaya and Erebus. And then eventually we finally get to a stone town as they're heading towards Thrax. And
it was like an abandoned town, or so they thought.
Yeah, an abandoned town or whatever. But like, so as they get closer, we meet Hildegrin, an agent of Vodalis, who's also known as the Badger, and some witches.
Yeah.
And a ritual is prepared to deal with Jolenta because she is deathly ill. And also we get to meet what the Kumean are, or Kumean, or whatever they're called. And which
they'll worship an ancient Mesoamerican deity. They come out in the hundreds. And
the Apu Panchao.
Yeah, Apu Panchao, yeah.
Yeah, the sun, the solar ancient Incan sun solar god.
And
a
then
ritual is prepared for Jolenta. We get to talk about these witches, which are apparently the witches that we were dealing with in the first book that were referred to in Shadow of the Torturer.
What are they called that he stole the claw from?
No.
Well, those are the Pellerines. These are the other witches.
The Pellerines is who that's with. But yeah, his encounter with the witches.
Yeah.
And so anyways, the witches in Hildegrin, they have this the ritual that evokes the town's past. We could have a literal ghost dance where we see the ghosts and the figure of Apu Panchao. And then the vision more or less ends. Jolenta dies. So Jolenta gets a bunch of elves, recruited out of a bar, artificially enhanced by a shady Dr. Talos, gets any man and woman to like. There's a weird bit where Jolenta's just like, I can get anyone to like go for me. This includes women. And then she eventually gets attacked. She loses her beauty, loses her health, gets attacked by a blood bat, fucking dies. Like Jolenta in the series of L's, it's not a good time at all whatsoever. And her beauty is dissolved, so it's just like a disgusting like shell of herself. And also the witches are gone. But also during this meeting, there are two Hildegrins. One in which that is present that Severian sees, but also another consorting or engaging in sort of, next to Apu Panchao. Then the ritual kind of snaps out. It closes.
A spirit's version of Hildegrin,
yeah. Like we're at two places at once. Like we're being like the seance of sorts is also something that is happening in real time. Like we are going back to the past.
Yeah.
And then, but we're also in two places at once, but also at the same location.
It's implied that the followers of Machu Picchu that assemble that they were the residents of this town.
Yes.
And so,
they
and
were
they're all
the
having
old worshippers.
This ghostly memory of the old worshippers. Yeah.
Which this is probably all going to get recontextualized when we do the next book.
Yeah.
But and then the book abruptly ends after the vision goes away. And the witches and Hildegrin are gone.
Is Dorcas still there? Because doesn't
Dorcas is still here.
Yeah.
And it's weird to see Severian have it's not weird, but Severian throughout this entire time is also having some interesting post-nut clarity where he's just thinking about I want to bang every woman that I've ever thought of. But also Dorcas genuinely loves me, and I don't know how to feel about that. Yeah. And also at the same time, because again, we meet Dorcas in the Lake of Birds, and she's this amnesiac, nearly dead woman that just, I guess it's
it reaches up to Severian in the lake.
And he pulls her out, and at the same time, he's currently with Aglia at that point in time. But in
the waters
Shadow,
of the dead in the garden.
You're on the River Styx basically. The dead are reaching out for you who have no memory. She's an amnesiac. She's partaken of is it a fruit or a flower or a beverage that the dead would consume to forget their old lives?
I think it's a beverage.
Okay, yeah. Off the top of my head, I can't recall what it is, but that's where the book ends. So I'm very excited to go to the next book, which I'm really looking forward to. Because again, reading this and also listening to it has just been something to really enjoy for me, because I don't get a chance to read a lot of fiction. I need to force myself to read more fiction, which is
same here.
important. I know that the next book is the Sword of the Lictor, which I'm excited for. I hope that we do get paid to go read that one, because I know Lictor was a bodyguard in ancient Rome. So I also know that it's fun to play with in Warhammer if you're a Tyranid player. So anyways, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a lot of fun. I don't know what we're going to cover next week on Gio's channel, but we're going to get to the super chats. Of course, if you want to like to support the show, please by all means scan the lovely QR code on the top left-hand corner. That is, of course, linking to my Subscribestar. Your long-term patronage really helps out with my life and the cost of living and everything like that, because it's fun doing this on top of 2 jobs to make ends meet. It's a lot of fun while also saving for a new car. So all that being said, Gio, I really enjoyed reading this book. I'm really glad that our listeners have been doing this, because again, you guys forcing me to engage with really good fiction is fun, because it's like I'm really excited if we ever do a Larry Niven episode, because like that I ranted about Halo this morning on sort of Morning Frog Radio, but like Halo's what got me into Larry Niven, which got me into writers like Greg Bear, Isaac Asimov, and countless other writers of like pulp science fiction. And also
from Halo.
Yeah, because Halo's based on, like, the whole installation of Halo is based off of Larry Niven's Ringworld.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like
I didn't know that.
And it's been fun because like I'm a subscriber to like Feral Historian, so it's like it's been fun to listen to him review like Larry Niven books I read in high school and college, and I was like, there's Moat in God's Eye, there's Footfalls, like I'm all here for it. It's really enjoyable, but also like there's a lot of pulp science fiction I like that's more modern, like Robert Buettner's Orphanage series, which is just like, what if we did Starship Troopers, but it was with like GWAT era technology. Written by a former Intel officer. Like, it's a really fun book series. It kind of jumps the shark towards the end, because it's like, all right, first we were doing Starship Troopers, but now we're fucking doing Stargate, which makes it a little more entertaining in terms of like where humans are across the universe. But it's a fun book series. Same with Orson.
This is about a world government with the United States and the Soviet Union.
No, which one?
A moth in God's eye.
A moat in God's eye.
Moat in God's eye, yeah.
I mean, they're there, but it's more than that. I mean, that's Jerry Purnell and Larry Niven. Those two worked a lot together. But it's in Purnell's world. But this is about it's a first contact scenario where like there's no good way to deal with to deal with like an alien civilization, which if they were to leave their little part of the world, because they don't have the faster than light sort of travel, that like if they were to escape and exchange information and technology, they would basically just wreak havoc on the galaxy, and the warriors are deadlier than humans, and at the same time like they would be so expansive that like you couldn't contain them. And it's like, what do you do in this situation? It's a really I
highly guess like America and the Soviets had to team up.
I mean, this is with a human empire. It's not the Soviets and the Americans. You'll find more in the Footfalls book, because like that's like Cold War Earth gets attacked by like these weird elephant creatures that kind of can conquer humanity easily, but like because of their social because of their social systems of culture and honor and surrender, they're not used to dealing with a culture that just gives up and accepts being owned. That's a fun one on a sociological level. That's a fun one. But
so is this like the Cold War meets Warhammer 40K?
Some of his books kind of feel that way, others certainly don't. But again, I would highly recommend that you read anything from Jerry Purnell or Larry Niven.
Look at this. Niven was good. This is a cap, says Niven was good at envisioning cohort alien societies that are unlike humans.
Yes.
Whoa.
He really is. I really also like Larry Niven wrote some really fun shit where it's just like, there is no cause so right that one cannot find a fool following it. But like his writing is really good, of course.
Oh man.
And also he's also like his short stories are fantastic. Like the one that I've read is I want to say, what was it? The Whole Man. That's a fun one. An alien base on Mars. And you know the aspects of a communicating, but how with them also a micro black hole. It's a lot of fun. So anyways, all that to say, there's good science fiction out there. I want to thank our listeners for making us read Gene Wolfe. As someone who's not read anything by him, this is my blind read through and reaction, and it's really good. And I'm trying to pick up what he's laying down for me, because again, I'm not an expert on this kind of stuff. I'm not. This is, I feel like he's kind of hand holding me, like, are you watching closely to do it?
Yeah, there's people that like go really into the weeds with Book of the New Sun. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as you should, it's really rich and in depth. So I'm not gonna overdo it, in terms of like shilling and things. Like Puppeteers is one of my favorite. So yeah, that's a good one. Quasar Spectre is an excellent sci-fi short story channel. Tons of gems in there. Wow, I got a subscriber today. That's for sure. I'm gonna go do that. So anyways, we're gonna get over to the super chats. I'm gonna start with the ones on YouTube first, but I highly recommend that you utilize the pinned comment in the live chat for the super tips, because that takes much smaller of a cut than YouTube does. And that money gets here a little bit quicker. But anyways, if you see a Modi, kill them all. That's right. Kill all Modis. Total Modi death. That's right. So we'll start with the YouTube ones, and then we'll get started over on here. So we were talking about Skyrim earlier, and he says, Gio, you're finally awake. One day you will understand what that means.
Whoa.
That's fine.
Is that like the meme of like he wakes up in the prisoner cart?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh,
I can't wait for Gio to. I hope someone next week gifts Gio Skyrim on Steam. So I hope that certainly happens. Chant the Man says for the Geo Stealth Archer stream. Can't wait for that to happen. Wingman says the Skyrim multiplayer mod live stream fund, monetize that bitch, force them Todd Howard. Well, I won't release like 11 anniversary editions of the live stream. That would be terrible. And then Wingman renewed his channel membership. Thank you so much. He says mom is still mad you called her a liberal. Well, extend my apologies to your mother. But when I read books about like race in the antebellum South and about whiteness and things like that, I'm gonna have some default assumptions. So again, my apologies to your mother.
Yeah,
it's a good book. She's a good author. I did buy a physical copy. I showed it on stream. So that's the way to go about it. And we'll carry on. Gnostic seems like a Jewish/Greek psyop to overthrow Christianity. No, because Gnosticism predates a lot of like Christian thought.
Oh,
like
yeah.
When Christianity comes onto the scene, Gnosticism also runs with it. So like there's Gnostic Christianity, there is other Eastern thought that you could call Gnosticism. There's Jewish Gnosticism, and later on there's very clear Gnostic thought as well as Gnostic influence on Islam as well. So it's not like it's overthrowing. It's just that like Gnosticism is a pre-existing
co-tandem
thought in the same way that there's also like a whole lot of other stuff happening inside of Jewish thought as well during the time of the apostles. Like I cannot recommend. Okay, Light and Salt. I'm going to recommend a really great book to you. Please read The Religion of the Apostles by Father Stephen DeYoung. There's a bit of Gnosticism in there, but there's also a lot of understanding of what first century AD, like Middle East / the Levant was thinking about, and also a really good kind of look at how did like Christian thought emerge from the various forms of sects and beliefs of Jewish leadership and theology at the time of the Second Temple. Really recommend that book.
Well, some people think that Gnosticism drove from Iran as well.
There is some people that think that Gnosticism comes from like some break-off sect of Zoroastrianism. So I mean, like how valid that is with the literature, I don't know. It's not my area of expertise. And then Happy Hunting becomes a channel member. Thank you very much, sir. Greatly appreciate it. We're now going to move on to the super chats over here, and so we'll carry it going. RD says that we are capable only of being what we are remains our unforgivable sin, is what he says for $5 here.
Wow, that's good.
It's a good line. It's
transcendence,
but I mean, it's literally overcoming. It's from the Claw.
Yeah,
that we are capable of being only what we are remains our unforgivable sin. and it's certainly there. But quite a bit of a pull on original sin, but also like unforgivable, not because of sin but because of existence. Also, it's like this is a retrospective. Like this book is being written in the future, and this is a look back. But yeah, no, there's so many good lines in the Book of the New Sun. Like, well, I mean, in the series, yes, but like, man, I really do enjoy like this book especially because there's just so many bangers. So thank you, RD, greatly appreciate it. Oswald Art says, hello gents, speaking of the Book of the New Sun aesthetics, have you seen Faust's drawing of Severin and others? Her art is pretty good. Also, which of the Holy Night win? God bless. Probably sometime in September, because I've done one playthrough. I will probably do another just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And Gio still has to play the game, so it's going to take you a hot minute, but we'll get there. I promise. We'll get there. It is my goal for us to review Witch of the Holy Night. That may be the only video game / visual novel I review on this channel, because my goal is in next year to have a second channel that is not linked to the Prudentialist at all, and gets to do my what I wanted to do originally during COVID, which was to make a white guy with too much time on his hands, which is video game review essays. But that day is coming, because also Yassine wanted me to review Ace Combat, and that whole discussion about Ace Combat turned into a lengthy rant and ramble about why I love flying games and why I love flight so much. So I'm going to incorporate Ace Combat into a larger conversation about flight. And I'm like, this is a second channel project. So like the video game review stuff hasn't been ignored. It's just you guys have given me the motivation to do what I originally wanted to do on YouTube, and I'm going to do it. Doesn't mean it'll succeed, but at least I had the chance to do it. And then we're going to carry on to the next super chat here. And this comes from Charlie Mackey. And so he has been the one bankrolling the Book of the New Sun reviews. And so he does it again for 100 USD. That's the price. That is the price for reviewing video games, movies, TV shows, and the rest, of course, subject to things like that. So he says, good evening. And again, Charlie, thank you very much. I hope you've been enjoying these reviews. This is both Gio and I reading and reacting for the first time. So I certainly hope that you're getting your money's worth out of it. Thank you very much. He says, good evening. I hope you were both well. Here it is for the next book. For some reason, the Book of the New Sun makes me think of Benjamin / the Jew from the Canticle for Leibowitz. I'm sure there are plenty of lines to be drawn, but I haven't reflected on it. Be well. There is.
Oh yeah, definitely. You could see it.
There is. There is a lot of that sort of parallelism there, but also, like it's weird because this world feels so unfamiliar, but also at the same time very familiar. Like guilds and panels and witchcraft. Like this is medieval, but also like there's clearly
in the future we rediscover huge parts of ourselves. Yeah,
and I mean, like science fiction has always been for me the best place to explore religion, ideology, and questions that we don't get to ask about ourselves in everyday life, because you can't ask those questions because society won't let you experiment with them. Whereas like in science fiction, you can literally experiment with any idea, religion, philosophy, concept, and then base them off of something you already know and then just go ham on it. Like there's some really weird libertarian science fiction out there. There's some incredibly weird, like Marxist sci-fi out there. I mean, a lot of early sci-fi writers of the 20th century were like basically Stalinists.
Yeah.
And then then you have even more cool concepts that have been out there. Like the most recent sci-fi novel that I read that came out in the 21st century was Peter Watts's Blind Sight, which is like really good cosmic horror, but also like the concept of like consciousness and who's sentient and who is like actively conscious. It's like, oh, we're pulling from vampires, we're also pulling from Julian Janes, and then we're talking about like religion,
and sounds like Gurdjieff a bit.
It's really good, which I quite appreciate. So I certainly have enjoyed it.
Well, just look at the state of literature now. Like it's horrendous, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the antechamber part of the Claw of the Conciliator. Severian tapping into Thecla's memories to escape, and Jonas's secret reveal is so. Honestly, like when I was listening to the audiobook today, and when we got to that section, I was just like, oh shit, like because again, it's different when a book is read to you via audiobook and when you're reading it yourself. Like I was like, oh man, how are they going to top this? And then the play happens later on in the book, but it was like really enjoying. It's like when it was being read to me, I was like, oh man, like this is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
I got to get really giddy over it because it's really hard to have like good science fiction is hard to come by these days. And then last but not least, Randall Shirker says Donald Trump basically announcing they're using the U.S. military to prop up the U.S. bond market. War's business. Kojima speaks of this.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I have not played a single Kojima game.
I was listening to Stormy.
Nanomachines, son.
What's he doesn't go by James Kirkpatrick. He just goes by his real name now.
Yeah, Kevin Deanna.
Kevin Deanna. Yeah, I was listening to Stormy being interviewed by on Identity Politics, and he went through the history of basically globalization was concurrent with the falling U.S. interest rates of the dollar after Bretton Woods. Yeah. That like the rise of China, like lifting 1 billion people out of poverty or whatever. And all basically what we know is the internet age current with globalization, that was all built off of the bond market and by interest rates in the US being lower and lower and lower every year. Because you can then exchange everything in US dollars. And that was a great observation how monetary policy essentially, like it's something in Randall Sugar, like it's something that Peter Beater talks about, although in a very like crazy schizo way. Basically, U.S. monetary policy built the modern world, more or less.
Yeah,
and that's like a very interesting observation. And I was blown away when Stormy said that, because here I am as a theory cell and like a cultural anthropologist type talking about the rise of globalization, and Stormy just like one shots me of like, no, actually, all that was just the U.S. monetary policy. I'm okay with this as long as we get Senator Armstrong. That's so Spenley Butler. Yeah. Because like that's another thing too. People have that idea. I think you
could also read William Appleman Williams's like Empires: A Way of Life if you want an interesting historical thought. There's a reactionary way to read Bill Williams, and I will hold on to that as long as I live. In the same way, like there's a really
and also that work on imperialism.
There's a reactionary way, and I would say the correct way to read Marshall McLuhan, but that's a story for another time.
But I said this on Content Minded a few episodes ago when I was talking about the theory that when people say that the U.S. military might, like the empire protects the dollar as the world reserve currency, it's the opposite actually in a lot of ways, where the U.S. dollar is the thing that ensures U.S. military hegemony. The only nations the U.S. has bombed and invaded and occupied for 20 years has been nations that have been severely affected by sanctions. And so unless you sanction a nation for 10 plus years, that's what happened to Iraq and Afghanistan during the 1990s, by the way, is that they were sanctioned for 10 plus years. And there were people, like there were kids dying of cholera. Right.
Hey man, I got an economic D-Day announcement courtesy of like Paw Patrol aesthetics.
Yeah.
So I mean, woke more correct in the mainstream Paw Patrol's fascism. I saw that and I was just like, Secretary Bestman, I'm a little tired.
Paw Patrol's like,
but yeah, so I mean,
propaganda.
I do love that though. Like I know everyone likes to joke and say like woke one was crazy, and it's just like they all still believe this shit, right? Like they still want to tell you that Bluey is bad because it's like a heterosexual family that's got the basic gender dynamics, or like Paw Patrol is fascist because it teaches kids that law enforcement is a force for good. That's just like, woke more correct. Those things are good.
If you can like ignore like the human robots and like all the world leaders have been replaced by humanoid robots, if you read Conspiracy Against the Dollar by Peter Beater, he's actually pretty on point when it comes to the global cabal, like basically destroying the dollar. Like
if you see past the reptilian conspiracy.
Well, no, it
reminds me of that tragedy.
Yeah, exactly. You can see past the reptilian conspiracy. What's funny about Peter Beater? I said this last week. Like, he actually has a more nuanced take on the Soviet Union than like the John Birch Society, where it's like all like the Birchers have like this kind of like one-dimensional like global communist conspiracy where Peter Beater's like a secret cabal of Russian nationalists actually kicked out all the Trotskyites, and like that's what created the neocons, and like they're basically like an internal war between like the post-Stalinist, like I guess nowadays you could say Putin would be like one of these people, and like the Communist International Trotskyites. And it's like a very interesting perspective that way.
So what do you got going on this week, Gio?
Hopefully I have like another Content Money episode, but I am like interviewing. I have like 2 separate interviews coming up that hopefully go well. One is with Lunk, and we're talking about the papal encyclical on AI. And the other hopefully is with Alexander Adams. We're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff. So hopefully I get an episode recorded this week. Probably not like a lengthy theory cell explanation. Like I keep putting off the landscape painting one about El Greco and Cezanne, but that's going to require like a lot of time. I'm probably just going to do like another variety show episode if I get one out this week. And I hopefully next week I'll have another 2B dumpster dives. I want to get back to art videos as well, but like I've been pressed for time. And what do you have going? Like you're doing the Frog Radio this Monday, or
yeah? So every Monday morning, I'm going to be live doing Frog Radio. So we're going to cover news, topics, traffic. We're also going to talk about like a rant of the week, things like that. I want that to be entertaining. That's going to be something I'm going to put way more production value into rather than just like rambling. I'm going to have a structure to it. I've already been working on some artwork for it, and also Oz is going to get some money from me to do more sort of like Frog-esque characters to put on the screen.
You should like fake commercials like in GTA.
So I want to do ad reads. I really do. Thank you, Shawnee Mac. So Frog Radio is definitely gonna it's gonna be at 7 a.m. my time, so 8 a.m. Eastern for you 9-to-5ers out there. And so I'm going to put some production effort into that and make sure that works, and that happens before I do it. I do want to get silly with it. I do what I haven't thought about, like, 'cause there's people I know who have radio broadcast licenses, so I might actually make it.
Yeah, you can do like a ham radio thing. Yeah.
Well, actual FM radio stuff. So like, I'm gonna have that on there, and so that's the plan. So that's gonna happen for sure.
Can you imagine listening to like an actual FM radio? That's crazy.
So there's a guy who's been actually putting on our guys on I think he's got like a satellite radio channel, and he's been putting it on.
Oh my god!
So I really want to do something similar.
You should put Content Minded on there.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Frog Radio is going to happen. Frog Radio collab with Report of the Week. I like that. I would love to do food review stuff like that. But anyways, I want to. A long story short, Frog Radio is going to happen every Monday. It's going to happen every Monday morning. Because long time ago, if you used to subscribe back when I still had the Edmund Burke profile picture, I used to do this thing called Monday Morning Musings, where I would just rant about a certain topic or something that interested me, and make it a short 7 to 5 minute video, and just put it up on there. And you can find them. They're still on my channel. I haven't deleted anything off the video section. And so I just wanted to recreate that. So we're just going to turn that into a little radio program. On top of that, I'm going to have probably I'll put out like my Backrooms review as an essay, and then I'll probably put it out as a video next week when Gio hosts. That way, there's Frog Radio every Monday, and then something like actually hard hitting. And then I'm probably going to put out an essay about road trips and just driving, because that's something I do a lot, and so does Gio. And like it is sorry, Gio, you're colonized. I'm sorry, to some extent you are spiritually American. I know you hate that, but your girlfriend's American. You drive here. You're an internet guy. You're a culture guy. You enjoy the sugar cookies, as Nebbit say.
Oh my god, yeah. No, so, you should do like that'd be crazy. Like if you like if you did like a True Capitalist Radio, like you have a radio graffiti segment where like people just call to troll you.
So I do want to do it. So eventually I want to make it a call-in show. I want to have it as a call-in thing, but like I would have to be live way earlier on the air than what I'm currently on. So spoiler alert, everyone, today's live show this morning was not live. It was pre-recorded. I recorded it on Saturday night and then put it out on Monday morning. If I want to do it live, I'd have to get up about an hour or so earlier to do that, which I'm not opposed. I really would like to do that. So maybe we will make it. We will have a call-in section eventually. Backrooms movie or the web series? Backrooms movie, George Sagan. Although like it's the same creator, Kane Pixels, but like I've talked about, like analog horror as a genre on the internet really does fascinate me. Both for fiction, but also like sociology reasons. And also it blew up at the perfect time during COVID too. So that matters a lot. But like I'm gonna have a movie review, and then there'll be some fun footage on screen.
Can I go on a little rant right now?
Gio, we are at 3 hours and 3 minutes, so that rant better.
I was gonna talk about how Stav, he has this fucking clip where he like takes equal credit for Come Town. It's like, no, you're like nothing. Nick Mullen was the real talent. You were a laugh track, you fucking piece of shit. Sorry,
the Backrooms movie makes a lot more sense if you're familiar with the series the director made. Oh yeah, certainly. But also at the same time, like I'm a little upset that I got like a quasi Silent Hill film in my like my Backrooms movie. That was kind of is like
Silent Hill.
Like I didn't want like I'm fine with the duplicate kind of thing. You know, the more it tries to remember, the more it forgets. But like I was really wanting to get the like monster from like the first film. That's really what I wanted, but that's okay. We'll see how it goes. Stavros looks like Stavros. It's incredibly frustrating that this like fat Greek ugly libtard is named that. It's like you're named after the cross, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, screw you.
He probably doesn't even. He's probably too stupid to even know that.
Well, I don't know. But like he was in an ESPN advertisement. And I about near like I wanted to just like throw the remote at the television.
That's the thing. That's why they're pushing him and Adam. Okay,
yeah,
Adam's got his fucking stupid Jon Stewart whatever retard impression, and then you have Stavros who is like being pushed to the moon. Why is Nick Mullen was objectively the talent of Come Town, but because he's a white Irish guy and he's not like Stavros, then he's buried. That's why the most objectively talented one gets shafted by the mainstream. And I'm sorry. I mean, say what you like. I know Nick Mullen called out and he did this.
All right, Gio. I'm gonna have dinner now. We will be live next Monday. We didn't even talk
about Data Republican. We even talk about that.
That's okay. We can save that for next week.
We'll see.
We'll see you all live next Monday. There'll be Frog Radio in the morning and the Digital Archipelago in the evening, and non-stop content on Mondays right here on this channel and on Gio's. We'll see you all next week, and take care, everyone.
God bless. Goodbye. Too sweet.
See you, gents.